Advance.
Move all these. Okay. Oh, wait, it's still set to the. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Okay. So it's. Stop. Hey! Stop. Alright. I need to fix my microphone settings and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that another time. Just gonna watch this video and play games and hang out. We'll just not make any real recordings out of these videos, so.
Not really throw their name in the hat just yet, if that's what I'm understanding, is kind of I wanted to get your guys' take on how you feel. Do you think that all of these allegations are coming to light in the gaming space so heavily all at once because we're so interconnected on Twitter and we're so vocal and present on Twitter? Because I feel like this happens a lot in every workspace, and it's something that I've known as a woman growing up my whole life. Like, and I've had to deal with a lot of sexual harassment and stuff. So I think that that's crazy and almost hypocritical.
Why does that make it okay?
Sponsors are like, well, we're gonna step away from the gaming because they're calling.
Wait, so what? So blame Twitter? What? What? I don't know how this makes any sense to anybody.
Males out on their nasty, disgusting behavior. You know?
Well, brands, I mean, they're pussies. I mean, let's be real. They're all pussies, and they don't give a fuck about you. And the only thing they care about is some amorphous idea of what their image is. So, I mean, of course, they're gonna do whatever scummy, slimy bullshit they think is gonna help their bottom line. But besides that, I think that, yeah, obviously having it be interconnected is why it's happening. You see one person saying it, and then they're getting a positive response. And like, I know in particular, you know, with Annie Fuchsia, she told me that exact same fucking story 3 years ago at BlizzCon. And I told her, I was like, listen, you need to fucking tell people this. And she's like, well, I'm not ready to do it. Basically, I forgot like specifically what the story was, but it was basically something to that effect. And I think that once you see one person come out and then they say something and they're vindicated, then it empowers other people to do the same thing. And it's kind of like the idea of the straw that broke the camel's back. Mm-hmm. It's like one person, it happens, and then everybody else, it just pops.
Wasn't Asmongold the guy that was like really upset when that dude's NPC got removed from WoW? I'm just saying, I mean, what the dude did was clearly pretty fucked up. I'm just saying.
So
yeah, that's exactly it. The problem is that like nobody wants their like what is for some people literally the worst moments of their life to be the focal point of the entire media sphere for a week or two. Like nobody wants to relive that moment over and over and over again. And then more than that, you're going to have to argue it and defend it because there are inevitably going to be people that come out and argue against you. So there's like it's kind of like a strength in numbers thing. If somebody comes out, you can add your story alongside theirs. You feel a little bit more empowered. You don't feel like you're the center of attention. Like you're the only person that's going to have to be talking about this. And it's like it's like a strength in numbers thing.
I really like what Destiny said with like having other people come with you at the same time, because the first person that this came out with was this Omid guy, right? And that was the first one I at least saw, was the OPG group, the
What's the
CEO
first to
guy.
follow? Oh.
Wait,
Yeah, and like
it wasn't the Destiny 2 community.
Yeah, I thought it was Destiny.
Yeah.
too.
maybe
There
it
was
was.
a guy like Snaps or something. What was it?
Ooh,
Something
okay,
like
maybe
that.
it was, but
I don't know the
what
name exactly.
what I'm trying to say is, like, once one person comes out with allegations against one guy, then I feel like other people feel more comfortable coming out with those same allegations and saying, like, wait, I had a bad experience with this person too, and then I had a bad experience with this person too. And then it's like, at some point, then someone's like, well, yeah, you guys had a bad experience with that guy. Well, what about this other guy that I had a bad experience with? And it just kind of compounds on each other, and we are where we are.
I don't get this boys will be boys shit. Like, that's what you say whenever somebody gets dirty. You know? Like,
They start girls
yo,
doing that
I've
in
never
school.
fucking heard of,
No,
like,
that
who the
starts in
fuck does
school.
that?
True.
Like
Boys
that
will
starts
be
as a
boys.
dress code things in school. People are like, no, you can't wear that top, or you can't wear those shorts. You have to have sleeves. If you have your shoulders, boys will get distracted.
They
You
get
know how boys
distracted,
are.
yeah.
It's like
For some reason,
Okay.
the moment you said boys will be boys, I thought of a Tide commercial where you like the dude wears like jeans and he like gets the
Yeah.
green grass mark on his knee, and then the mom's like, boys will be boys, and here's Tide, gets grass marks removed. Like, that's what I thought of. Like, I didn't realize it was being used to like justify shit. That's
oh no, it
insane.
definitely is.
Yeah.
Not to like do like not for any like super political topic, but when people bring up like the concept of rape culture, that's kind of what it is. Like, you're
Mhm.
supposed to get a girl super wasted if you want to fuck her. You're supposed to keep pushing because girls are just playing hard to get. Like, that kind of goes into that mentality. That's where that idea comes from. I would hope that if anything, like over the past like week of revelations, people see that like it's not just a meme, or it's not just like an SJW meme or whatever, but like there's like a very real pervasive idea that men are supposed to be like incredibly sexually aggressive, and that kind of like using positions of power or using the fact that she might be uncomfortable or in an awkward situation is like an acceptable way to kind of push somebody into some sort of sexual action that they wouldn't otherwise say yes to. I think that is a pretty normalized part of our society, and a lot of people don't like to talk about that a lot.
That's so weird. Like, because to me, it's like, if you have to do that, it's like cheating. You know, like, it's just so fucking weird, man. I don't get where people get that idea. Like, I mean, I get where they get it, but it just seems fucking stupid.
I think it's also
He doesn't understand where that idea comes from. I mean, if you're a man in the country, or in, I don't know, in the world, I guess, you're told, you know, get a good job, make a lot of money, and then you'll have your, you know, your wife and kids to come along with that, right? I mean, that's just how society is, right? I mean, everybody has these conceptions. It's not like it's some new novel idea that nobody's ever heard of before.
Validating for some people, and this is not limited to men. This is common in women too, where if they don't want you and it's like not so outward, it's kind of a challenge. And if you beat that challenge, if you get them, it validates you. It means that you're good enough. Some people like that.
True.
Yeah. And in my experience too, just being hit on at like the store, some men don't take no as an answer. They take that as a challenge. They don't respect that.
Where that's something I talk about a lot. Like, people wonder, like, why do women ghost guys all the time? And it's like,
I
well,
love
a lot
this.
of the time, when you say no to a guy, it's like an invitation to debate you out of how you feel about it. Like, yeah, and people will do that. Like, oh, I don't really want to hang out tomorrow. Like, oh, well, why not? It's like, I don't know, I'm just not in the mood. But we can get in the mood. We can drink something. It's like, oh, I don't really feel like it. Well, why do we do this? And it's like, you can't just say no. And then eventually it gets flipped onto you. It's like, okay, whatever, you fucking stuck up bitch. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I just don't want to do something.
No, yeah, my
gas
dad has seen it
station
happen
guy.
on my live stream.
Every guy at the
when
club.
I'm doing
Yep.
IRL streams. It happens.
Yeah, and then at
I
some point, it's like,
see
it's
that.
just easier to ghost someone. Like, why would you even open yourself up to like going through the whole fucking hassle of like trying to say no when it's so difficult sometimes?
Yeah, I saw that clip.
have a-
Like, I like that a lot. Go ahead, sorry.
I said I have a boyfriend even if I don't, to get them to leave me alone, because it's like one of the only ones that sometimes works, and then even then they'll be like, well, they ain't
Definitely.
gotta know, they don't have to know. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
So I actually haven't thought about the story for like a year, but there was this girl that was with us that was hanging out with us. I'm pretty sure that you were there. And basically, we went back to, like, I think it was either your apartment, and we had found out that she went with this other weird guy who pretended to be part of our community, but he actually wasn't. He was just like a predator that was just like getting it on, trying to at least with this girl. And he ended up like creeping her the fuck out. And like, I don't remember like what all the real details were, but it was like really bad. And I like, if Esfond was here, he'd be able to probably remember more than I do. But I haven't even thought about that in a long time. Because like usually, you know, like I was thinking, I was like, oh, well, I've never heard any of this stuff happen. But actually, yeah, I have.
Do you remember? I don't know if anybody's mentioned it in the context or anything, but do you remember that one girl? She was like Asian streamer girl. I don't know where she was streaming at, but there was the guy. I think it was a mod or a donor that showed up and like turned her camera over to like start talking.
What? I remember
Yeah.
that.
So she was like
Oh,
IRL
yeah, I
streaming,
saw that.
talking to some guy that was being like really, really like kind of a little bit too creepy, but like maybe he was just being weird. It's hard to say.
And
But
he
at one point, he tried to like turn her camera off or turn it over or whatever, and like try to like get her to go home with him. And it was like, holy
I
shit!
remember that.
you
It
know?
was on. I think it was on Livestream Phil, correct?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and she noticed that and she freaked out, and yeah, that was very weird, very weird.
Another thing you have to figure too, because like people will point out, well, this isn't most interactions with guys, you know, it's just some or whatever. Even if it's only like 5%, like that's more than enough to taint every single interaction you have too, right? Like if you know that there's like it's really really weird as a guy because you never think about this, right? Because if anyone's getting killed, it's usually the girl that happens in the situations because of like physical overpowering and everything, right? Like even if only 5% of your interactions have a chance to go like really, really, really fucked up, like that's just something you don't consider as a guy. But you know, as a girl, like it'd be like really scary sometimes, like where every single date is like a potential like disaster waiting to fucking happen or something, you know?
That's like how people develop racist tendencies too. You know, they have like
They
a
can
bad
be, yeah.
experience with somebody of another race, and then
Mhm.
that just gives them that feeling of everybody of that race.
Yeah, it could.
But yeah, I mean, you're definitely right.
I have a question for you guys, specifically more the dudes in here. Like, if you were to witness maybe someone acting inappropriately or getting grabby or something that just made you feel like either you were uncomfortable or the girl or whoever was uncomfortable, like what goes through your head in that instance?
In my mind, I would look at how to, like, I would try to talk to her, like, get her away from him for a minute.
Yeah,
and
avoid
talk
the
to her and-
conflict.
Yeah,
avoid the
like,
confrontation. Just kind of
because
like
like,
make up
I
some
don't want to have a
circumstance to
conflict
peace
at
out.
all. If there's a conflict, you never know that, like, oh, what if I just get up and I stand in front of him? I like fucking confront him directly in front of everybody. Who's to say that guy's not going to take it out on the girl later on?
Or
So
who's to
like,
say
this
that
isn't some kind of
friend
like
group
hard
isn't
ass,
gonna
you know, beat your chest, feel good about it thing.
Sure.
treat you like
Hurting
you're
somebody.
a fucking weirdo for calling him out, right? Let me I'm gonna raise this just a little bit. Hopefully that's okay. But I mean, really, you know, in like a social situation, if you're that person that tries to like call someone else out on being creepy, you know, generally those people are shunned, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd try to get them by themselves and be like, listen, do you want to go home or like, or what? That'd be the first thing.
Yeah,
I'd
maybe
do.
trying to do it in a
One of
sneaky
the
fashion.
most intelligent things, I think I also saw this on Reddit, was there was like a guy that was following a girl, and they were saying some like they were obviously like really trying to. She was trying to walk away from him,
Mhm.
and so one of these guys walked up and was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Can I take a selfie with you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, let's." And they take a picture together. Gives time to the girl to walk away and get to her friends and then leave. It was like really well done.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
yeah, that is five head.
Mhm.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of little like tricks like that to get people away from them, but the truth is for a lot of these encounters, like these are people that they know pretty well,
Yeah.
and it can be really hard. Like you can even pull away somebody from somebody that is maybe like being abusive towards them, and they'll be like, no, like it's my friend, like it's okay, he wouldn't do that. Because for a lot of people, like a lot of people genuinely don't think that anything bad, you know, is going to happen until it does, or until there's like a tipping point. So like really for a lot of this stuff, like if you know friends or people that could be in these situations, like you're the best one to keep an eye out for it. Like like if you've got a personal relationship with someone, and unfortunately the way that it works with abusive relationships, you can't just force them out, right? You just have to make sure that they know that you're available if you ever want to talk about anything, and like sometimes that's the most you can do. But like it's really about like holding friends accountable and not having to rely on like a stranger hopefully intervening, and then hopefully having the person being abused, you know, have the wherewithal to go with the other person or separate themselves from the event. Like that's a really hard thing to do as well.
I kind of have a question for the guys. This is kind of a very specific one and like very open-ended. So there was a specific instance, and I think it was the Haley baby was talking about this guy named Satellizer. And Satellizer tries to defend themselves.
What?
Haley puts out another statement, but what ended up happening was there
Haley
were three
Baby
other
and
really
Satellizer? I haven't heard this story.
big kind of YouTubers and Twitch streamers that came out and they told their side and they said, Haley's telling the truth. I was there. And every single one of their accounts said, I was there and I saw it. Is there anything that you guys would do differently in a situation now, knowing all these stories, if you saw your friend kind of doing something and you were unsure about it?
Maybe
would-
ask him.
I definitely will act differently as a result, and I hope that extends to a lot of the people that are watching. I guess I'll like.
It's just, it feels like they're treating these situations as if they're so black and white, and they're really just, they're not so black and white.
I think maybe hopefully give some people some courage here. Like I didn't really understand, I think, how pervasive this is, and just like how oppressive it is for women in everyday like life. I know that like Amaranth, you and I have talked about the gaming industry and a lot of the trouble that broadcasters have. Holy shit, in real life like this, and some of the stories that Amaranth told me when we were talking about this, just about your everyday life, going to restaurants, like things like that. It's so I think that awareness of these issues is so important, because if you can get, I know I will act differently if I see a guy
It's true, though.
being super creepy to a girl. Like, I think that's something that I might have passed over before and just been like, it's probably fine. I don't want to get involved. Or
Dude, when I was in my 20s, they would say, oh, bro, you're cock blocking. Like, there's literally like a word for that. And people can say that. And then they're like, oh, bro, I'm sorry. But like, you could discourage something like somebody from making a difference in something bad that could really happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks because oftentimes, like, depending on how you approach that and how desperate the guy is, like, that might be the end of your friendship, depending on how you try to resolve that. So, like, yeah, people can take it like really, really, really poorly.
Yeah,
I think like one thing that I'm gonna try to do more is that, like, the girl and the guy in this situation, they were happy and hanging out together and everything was chill, and then they left, and that's whenever things went bad. So I think that trying to follow up with people after they get isolated by another person, because it's like, from my perspective, she's having a good time with this guy. Everything's fine. Like, why would I expect anything different? She's smiling. She's happy. Everything's okay. And so, like, what really went wrong was what happened whenever they got alone. And I think that following up whenever that happens, that's really what I think I'll probably do differently.
How do you realistically do that, though? That sounds so difficult.
Like, for the women in the call,
I have an idea.
what do we do? Yeah. Like, how do
Okay,
we help?
so I actually kind of tweeted about this the other day, so I'll just try and reiterate it. But basically, before they leave, like if you have the chance to talk to them, or maybe you have their number and you can message them, like, hey, if you feel uncomfortable or weird or anything at all, like maybe you could come up with a code word, or like, because now I'm making it more this scenario based, but maybe you could come up with a code word, like just text me this word, like I won't question. Something that you need to explain to them is you won't question them, like, oh, well, why did you go there if they said that they were going over here? Or why did you let him do that? Or, well, why did you, like just make it very clear that you're not going to judge or question them, that your number one concern is just going to be removing them from the situation. Because sometimes I think when assault is beginning to happen, I think that a lot of people pick up on it, but they don't want to admit it fully. And then they realize that just something is wrong, and even though they can't pin it, and then that's when they really don't want to speak up, because they're like, I don't want to look crazy, or I don't want to look like I'm scared for no reason and make this guy a bad guy when he's not. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, that's something that you can warn them about before they even leave, or if they have left, just send them a message.
Yeah, like be the bad guy for her. She doesn't want to be the bad guy. Be the bad guy.
Yeah, a lot of women in the moment are afraid to say no out of fear of what will happen if they say no. The guy could follow them home. He could, do something to them there where they don't have any way to get help either. It's just fearful. And it's definitely a thing that is helpful if you are going to a place with girls already, to let them know that you got their back and to have that safety net. Otherwise, they may not do it when the time comes, whether they're sober or not.
Yeah, but
I would say something that like
you have to build that relationship with those people beforehand too. You don't want to just be some unknown stranger that's like, call me if you need help. Yeah, I mean that's the white knight meme or whatever.
like is general advice for girls that are doing like Tinder hookups and stuff is usually before you go to, especially to some other person's house, is usually you have at least one friend that you're supposed to check in with in like 2 or 3 hours or at a given time.
Yep.
And then if you don't, that friend calls you with a reason to leave if you don't say anything. So if
Yep.
you tell a friend like, hey, like I'm going out at 7, like I'll text you by 10 or whatever. If they don't text you by 10 and you call them at like 10:01, it's like, hey, listen, I need you to come home real quick, so that they have like a call, they have an excuse to leave or whatever, like stuff like that. You always give like addresses and names of like places you're going and who you're going with.
Exactly.
Always give an
Yeah.
address of where you're gonna be.
Always.
Yeah.
No.
And even like honestly, there are times where even if I'm just Ubering to the store or something, I'm like, hey mom, I'm sharing my location with you for the rest of the day. Do you know what I mean? Like, because there are times where
I don't know how that works. I know Facebook lets you share for an hour. I don't know about the rest of the day. That's pretty strange. And why would you need to share your location with your mom for the rest of the day if you're going to the grocery store? I hope that this is not the type of world that we're living in where people are afraid to go to the grocery store.
I just feel uncomfortable, and I want this to be tracked. I want someone to know exactly where I'm at, because like I said, they can give you an address and take you somewhere else, and now your friend has the wrong address.
So that's actually what I wanted to chime in with earlier. Way earlier when you were asking,
I mean,
about what would the guys in this call do?
Maybe there was some subtext there that I missed, being a little like autismal or something. Maybe she meant like you're saying you're going to the grocery store and share your. I don't want to go back and listen to it, so I'm not going to.
Do if given that scenario, and this was like my woke moment on this whole thing here was whenever I realized that like my girlfriend, when she needs to like whatever get an Uber somewhere, for her it's much more complicated than me as a male, whereas like, I'm like, okay, Uber.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Or you're like, she's going to the grocery store via Uber or something. Then you would want to share that information with somebody. I don't know. I bet there are people
whatever,
out
it's like-
there that have like terrible things happen to them with like all of their location services and stuff turned on their phones, and we just don't hold the companies that are collecting this information accountable for getting that information out in a timely manner if somebody is like abducted or something.
Like 11 p.m. I'm stuck, down wherever the fuck because of some, let's just say in the middle of TwitchCon weekend, right? I'm at some party like 8 blocks out. I get an Uber. I don't care, whatever. We move on. As a female, especially if you're alone, whole different scenario there, right? You're like hesitant. You're looking for a buddy to go with. Like you don't want to be the only woman getting picked up by the stranger you don't even know. The accountability here is very, very low, especially getting an Uber randomly in downtown San Jose or whatever, right? So it's like.
And yeah,
really,
especially
really
with all like every time I get into an Uber, it seems like they have stories of their female relatives and friends experience sex trafficking with Ubers who aren't very very
Every time I
truthful.
go someplace,
Dude, what? Is this a thing? I would never use Uber if this was something that I had heard from anyone ever. What the fuck? Seriously? You know people that are being sex trafficked through Uber? And you still use it? I would not use it if that were the case. What? Even still. That's so fucking weird.
if a girl is like Ubering around with me, like she'll like call like rideshare or some shit. I've met a surprising number of girls that are like, oh yeah, and I'm like, why do you use this fucking app? And it's like I've had really bad experiences with Uber, or like a guy tried to drive me like 20 minutes out of the way before, and it's like, oh, like,
Dude,
yeah,
what
that's
the
a pretty common
fuck?
experience, or maybe not common.
What the fuck, though? Seriously? I would never use this service if this was happening and you're what? Jesus Christ, dude. Is this really where we're at in America, where women can't use fucking taxi services for fear of getting abducted? What the fuck? I mean, you would think something like Uber would be like well tracked by the company and everything, to where that wouldn't be like as big of a deal. But Jesus Christ, man, Jesus Christ. Seriously, I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing of this type of stuff. That's fucked up.
Common, but like it happens enough that like people are worried about it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's something I never thought about. I was just like, oh shit. But that's like a couple years ago when I realized that.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's like something that a lot of people miss because people are always like, oh, like you should never be in this situation. Like you can always blah, blah, blah. And like to some extent, yeah, there are precautions you can take. But man, like not everybody is like fucking
Seriously,
on
I mean,
guard
this is the
from
first
like
time I've
crazy
heard
shit
this.
24 fucking 7. You know, not everybody wants to feel, you know, like, oh, well, how much did you drink when you go? It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, as a guy, if I drink too much going out, the thought is never like, well, if I drink too much, I'm going to get raped. Like that's nothing I ever think about in my entire life. And the fact
Right.
that people point is like, well, listen, man, how much did you drink? And it's like, well, I don't know, not enough that I deserve this, you know? But people
Yeah.
like act like, yeah, that if you don't take the precautions, it's your fault. Like it's the same thing as inviting basically like vile behavior, which is really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Rationalizing the behavior, I think, is the most disgusting thing.
Yeah. It's a huge problem as a result of like the last week or so too.
Mhm.
There's so much justification that people are trying to do around all this.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, oh sorry, I was gonna say, Adept, that that's what me and my girlfriends did. My friend got married last year, and we went on a bachelorette party in Vegas, and it was just all girls. So we all were in like a group chat, and we made sure that we shared our locations with each other the entire trip, and that we all stayed
love
like
that.
in a
Dude,
group.
that makes a lot of
and
sense.
if we went to the bathrooms, like one of us went with them. Like we never went anywhere alone.
Yeah, and I usually don't give into chat, but I saw like when I said that there are some idiots like
I mean, it sucks that people have to do this type of stuff, but this is our society. I mean, I want to change it. I would like it if more people would want to change it. I don't know.
like paranoid, you know, but fuck that. If you're reading this and if you don't be afraid to be paranoid, okay? Because being paranoid, you might just feel happier that you're paranoid instead of another feeling, okay?
True.
And
Here-
the thing is like,
Sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. No, you're good.
I was gonna say, what do you like? Anybody that thinks that being paranoid, like, what do you think the odds of something bad happening are? Like, realistically, what are the odds?
Fairly high.
Like, I'd actually
for,
be curious
for a
to see
beautiful
what the
woman,
chat's odds are.
not for not for standard man looking person. Although I wouldn't argue, I wouldn't say that there's no risk at all for men, but like if somebody that looks like me walks down the street, nobody wants a piece of this. Not because
1%?
of the threat of physical violence either.
Guess how many 1%
I'm not
chance
very
drop
attractive.
mounts I have in WoW?
Yeah, or if you're doing
Well,
something
exactly.
like every
It's
single
worth
day.
1%
Yeah.
chances happen all the time.
1% is enough to justify
True.
paranoia and cautiousness. 100%.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
People are actually a side thing. Like people like psychologically are really bad at dealing with probability. You know, actually, I guess you being a WoW player should be a lot different. But like, because in real life, you know,
Unfortunately, yeah.
20% chance of something happening, it's like never happening. 20% chance that fucking happens all the time. Are you serious? Like, if you're farming rare drops, 20%, that's not even rare. Like that's like common. You know, yeah, people have a really hard time like mentally understanding percentages.
Virginity shaming was like a really, really big thing. Like
Yep.
you were a fucking loser
True.
if you were not chasing poon and crushing puss every weekend. Because all the dudes would just like brag about
True.
that all the time. And it didn't matter how it was done, manipulate, lie, whatever you had to do to get in them draws.
Isn't that
was
ironic?
how
Like
it
the
was done.
opposite of
Actually-
Southern
Like-
females.
Like literally
Yeah, it's like the
toxic
complete
locker room
opposite.
rhetoric all day long, complete objectification, all that nonsense. And it like, dude, there were many times where it was like, you know, it would have, I guess, been my turn to brag about whatever I did that weekend. And I didn't do shit other than like, you know, did the Aspen Gold special here, just play games all day, you know, nerf whatever it may be here.
That's the gold
And so
special.
I was just kind of like, I was like uncomfortable, and I would kind of just pass because I
Damn,
had
dude.
nothing to report.
Even that comment was shaming the man for not going out and trying to get poon.
Quote unquote. And I'm just like, man, this is like normalized shit right now. It's so freaking weird. And I can tell all of them like kind of made it a competition. They would all make it like, you know, a race. You know, how many girls can I manipulate and slam
Mm-hmm.
and just add it to my trophy wall? And I hate that was really that was a thing, but that's definitely like the thing that I saw that made me like, I don't know.
And there's a lot
That
of
shit always made me
toxic
so
behavior.
uncomfortable, man. Like
Yeah.
people did that
Man
where I was
culture
at
is
too. I never liked that. That's weird.
I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of people grew up in that kind of culture, though. What made you shift away from that?
I
was-
never
Playing
away
video
is-
games,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
exactly.
It was like a.
Don't go out with bros anymore.
Again, my question to you actually is that a Southern thing, or is that just like, is that most high
I think that
schools? Is that
happens
like
a
a
lot of
rule?
places.
I think
thing?
that's
That's
like,
everywhere.
like
experienced that
internationally.
Not
I
just
would
the
argue
Southern.
that's
Yeah.
still like a pretty widespread thing today. I don't think that ever went away.
Yeah,
Like,
in
maybe
America,
our priorities might have
it's-
shifted a little bit because we're a little bit older now, but that's
we see
definitely
it.
still an
Yeah,
ever-present thing.
we see it glorified everywhere, whether it's music or
Mhm.
anything like that. Like
Mhm.
it just comes down to right.
True.
Like in my opinion, we have to be careful with. I mean,
God damn it, dude! I'm in my own corner here.
I don't know. I'm not even trying to explain that part, but like, I think what you're referring to when you say manipulate to add to the trophy wall, are you just talking about the game? Are you talking about like, you know, back in high school, there was, you know, the cool dudes, the cool girls, and the dudes would brag about who they slept with. The chicks would brag about, you know, which captain they were with. Like, are you talking about that game?
I'll tell you an example here, right? So yeah, I had a person I knew, and he would just call girls and just lie and say anything to get them to come over, or to allow, or you know, the goal was to either she comes over and they fuck, or he goes over to their crib and they fuck. You know, that was like the. But of course, you know, everyone's like 17, 18. Someone has like vehicles. They're trying to like figure out where they can go because most of them live with their parents one way or another here.
Yes.
So for him, it was all about just like saying whatever he can say to get him to say yes. So it was like, it was in that regard. If we can conclude that, you know, lying or putting up a false narrative is manipulation in some factor or in some form, that's what he would do.
There's a spectrum, but yeah, I would agree. I
There is
mean,
a
like, I
spectrum, I
think that
think, too, yeah.
the one silver lining
Oh,
on
shit.
this is
Did
that
I
I
do
know
that?
a lot of you guys probably had friends like that in high school.
You know what?
and
Yeah,
now,
I can't do that.
They've got like two kids who fucking hate their life, and like, you know, with
Yeah.
two different girls that they're paying child support to, and they have to
Yeah.
deal with these fucking kids, and then the two girls hate each other, and it's constantly a problem.
That's-
Like, I have a friend that lives up the street from me. Fucking, he's always pissed off. Always.
That's
This
why.
happens sometimes. I always
That's-
push back on this though. You're gonna meet some genuinely horrible people in your life, and they're actually gonna have great lives. They're gonna have great wives. They're gonna have great jobs, and they're gonna like do better than you in every single way. There's not like a global karma that like keeps track of horrible actions that people do. Like
True.
sometimes this is one of the reasons why it's so important to hold like people accountable, because there are a lot of people that do a lot of fucked up shit growing up that never have repercussions for it. They make it through their entire existence just fine. But you know, I know that like, because sometimes it sucks really hard when you look at somebody that was like horrible fucking piece of shit in high school, and you go check on their Facebook now, and their life is like
Logan
perfect.
Paul.
Like that happens. What?
And
Oh,
it's
like Logan Paul. Yeah, basically, yeah. And they can continue to even do
That's
those
why-
things too.
That's why on my Instagram I always make so people refer to, so the people you're talking about are the Chads of the high school, right? And I always refer like when
Chad
people
Wooden
refer to
here.
like older men or like our age as like who the Chad is. I always say it's actually a bad thing. I actually make fun of those people because like it's not good to be that. What you just explained right there, Asman, is literally what every Chad in high school ended up being, right? Like
This is, he just said this is a misconception because there are people like that who, you know, end up with perfectly happy, fine lives. I mean, it's fucked up, but you know, this is what happens. There's no, I mean, you could try to say everybody that does that type of thing is gonna end up in a bad spot, but it's just not true.
ended up having 2 kids, like didn't plan right, like everything peaked at high school. That was the Chads. That's why I always make fun of kids who use that as some sort of compliment.
True.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess it could be
I don't know. I know a
metaphorical
lot of
thing.
people that were pieces of shit in high school. When I look at them now, they're working at some bullshit firm because their dad got them a job there because their family's always been wealthy and connected, and they seem like they've got like a wife and they're doing fine. Like I don't know. I see a lot of those people that were like pieces of shit in high school that are doing just fine later on in life. I think that if you're looking for like if you're looking for some type of good feeling that they got their comeuppance, a lot of the times that'll never happen.
Oh, luckily I went to a ghetto school, so half of them are in
Yeah.
jail and the other half are working at
So
McDonald's.
it sounds like your
Yeah.
edition of Facebook follow-up Destiny is a pretty boring one. Mine is always like juicy because it's out again. I was in a rural area, so for those who
Yeah.
never like got out of that small country town or whatever,
Mhm.
they it's always like Asmund Gold was saying here, just
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's not a good way to build like a life lesson.
It's
Off
like
of it.
two kids,
Yep.
you know, just
You can't
completely
expect this
unplanned
to be
baby,
the case.
probably, obviously. They look pissed off all the time. It's just
They complain about each other on Facebook.
yeah, you go to each other's wall.
Yeah.
It's all that stuff. Like hanging all the dirty laundry. Like
And they're
I-
usually
and of course
and they're-
passive aggressive quotes that you can
yeah.
infer has something to do with their
Yes.
dysfunctional relationship.
and they're
Every
usually
Gratuitous
time.
details that nobody wants to hear.
and they're usually Trump supporters. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay,
Jesus,
Lord.
we're doing so well.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay.
How do you guys feel about there's some men that are taking legal action against the allegations. I noticed that there was a really huge allegation from OMG It's Firefox that was actually removed today, and
Angry Fox
the guy
or Angry
that
Joe or
she was
whatever.
accusing made a statement that said that he had lawyered up. And to my knowledge, I think if his attorneys were to send her a cease and desist, she would have to delete the post, which I think would cause skepticism about whether her
No, the burden of
allegations were
proof
true
is
or
on
not.
him, I think.
And I'm kind of wondering, like, what do you guys see coming on the horizon with guys trying to take legal action against these?
I think that you would have to disprove what the person is saying. So it would have to be like a positive disapproval. Like, I was never at this hotel at this time, which you know, there are records on those things.
Well, I think that
real,
Go ahead.
honestly, real quick, just so we
I don't think you have to be worried if you're telling the truth, which, you know, is the case most of the time.
have an understanding of like the legal terms, because I see a lot of people on Reddit lawyers that are saying different things. So a cease and desist is basically just putting somebody on notice that if they don't cease a certain behavior, you're going to take them to court. A cease and desist, like in and of itself, doesn't mean that you're suing somebody, or doesn't mean in and of itself you've taken legal action against them. It's more just like if you're going to take somebody to civil court, usually a judge wants to see like, hey, have you tried to resolve this before just throwing, you know, a court case at this person? And usually a cease and desist is the way that you go about doing that, right? Like, well, look, I've told this person to stop. I sent them a cease and desist, it was signed and everything, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm taking them to court because I haven't stopped. Yeah, that's the first part of that. And then the second part is that if you were to take somebody to court for like a false allegation, if there's no like police report or whatever filed, then these are all going to be like civil cases as well. I don't know how important that'll be to the upcoming conversation, but go for it.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, like civil court cases are, they're much more gray, I feel, than like criminal cases. I don't know a whole lot about that, but yeah, I mean, I think obviously if you're a guy and you're getting falsely accused of something, you should absolutely lawyer the fuck up, shut the fuck up, and do what they tell you to do. And that's a smart thing to.
I mean, if it's a, it depends. I mean, if you do feel like you're falsely accused, maybe, but I mean, a lot of these are just, you know, court of public opinion accusals. There's no reason to have to get fresh lawyer. If there's no, you know, actual legal repercussions, unless you're actually intent on stopping them, which, you know, maybe you could be. I mean, certainly people's lives have been ruined by that type of stuff. So
To do, and usually whenever I see a guy that like after the allegation,
I mean, I don't run into these problems because, you know, I haven't ever, you know, had a false allegation against me, and to be honest, I'm not even sure that false allegations are real. So, you know, I mean, obviously there are false allegations out there, but I mean, I think it's such a small minority of cases that it's just you know, it's something that, you know, everyone who's been accused of anything claims is false allegation. So.
You know, assuming like how credible they are, instead of just immediately disagreeing with them and like writing a whole thing, they just shut the fuck up. I will usually take that more seriously than if somebody just starts going and like, you know, trying to like argue it and like they're you know, opposing to it longer, basically.
You really think so? I feel
say
like
what?
for some of the responses to some of the allegations, I feel like the guys did a really good job of putting up like, this is what happened, this is why I disagree with what's going on, and then this. So
Yeah.
for I think Badger was one that had put up like a decent number of documentation. Like, okay, well, hold on, this is what was going on. Like, I disagree with her characterization of that. Sometimes I feel like the silence looks really bad. Like if there's like a really big accusation comes out and the person has nothing to say at all, I feel like, okay.
That's
Or
kind
you
of
know,
I agree actually with what you're saying. Yeah, I do because I know whenever the accusations came out against Swifty,
It was just literally the opposite of what what he said. So he disagrees with his own point now or something. Do you need to go outside? Yeah, you do. Okay, I'm gonna go let these dogs. All right. Oh. Interesting. Come on. Okay. Oh wait. That's right. Not using that. Those headphones are really comfortable, but I don't know why, but my head just gets kind of like squeezed when I use them.
there were a lot of
So I'm
people
trying out
who
earbuds.
criticized him not responding to it immediately. And I think it just matters about like how much actual proof you have.
how you respond. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Swifty basically came out and he was like, well, actually, my mom and my sister and every girl I've ever met says I'm a gentleman, so suck it and bye. And then he just like screamed.
Also,
Like,
Yeah.
also remaining
Got
silent
him.
for too long.
Dude, Asmongold's such a Swifty defender. I hope he changes his position on that during this stream.
People have already labeled you that for so long, they're not going to change it.
Exactly.
They're not going to look at your evidence. They're not going to look at the report. Nothing. They're not going to look. That's
Yeah.
it. You're done. You're over in their eyes. And that is a majority of people, because majority of people are kind of lazy and don't care that much, but they
It's a
will
first
care enough
impression.
to criticize.
True.
Yeah, criticize.
I think in order to keep this platform that gives a voice and gives justice to so many different people, there needs to be an oversight and accountability. So sure, the number of false allegations versus accusations is way smaller. It could be even 1% to the 99%, but that 1% still needs to be held accountable, and there needs to be an oversight to that. If they're not held accountable, then it's only going to chip away at the credibility of the overall platform and take away the platform from people who actually need it. And that's one thing I haven't really seen
That's
many people
fair.
talk about, but I think it's very important.
Although I don't think the platform's ever
I
going to
think
go
a lot of
away. I
people
think
talk
just the
about it.
toxic
I
people are
agree
going to go away.
completely.
Yeah.
I'm all
I mean, I don't know. I was talking about this in the Dope Lives chat earlier, and wouldn't it be nice if, you know, gaming could lose all its advertising and go back to being, you know, decorporatized and just a hobby again? But people in the chat said, you know, it's more like movies and books. You know, it's not going anywhere, which, you know, makes sense. Just miss my niche fucking hobby, bro.
also worried though about people that use that as a shield to keep women from coming out and telling
Yup.
these stories. And I kind of like, that was like one of the big arguments that I like when I kind of got into this with my chat and was trying to explain why this is so important, that like these systems of social accountability exist so that we can, because when these other systems like the justice system fail us, that don't work for like things like sexual misconduct. I was really, you know, the big argument that I got was, well, there's false positives. You know, there's like, we have to consider all these people that might be getting falsely accused. It's like, well, we do need to acknowledge that. And I think Twitch, for what it's worth, like so far has been doing a pretty good job of removing people that they have credible evidence towards, and then investigating the rest. And I know the trust and safety team is very hard at work doing that as we speak. I worry that that certain people might not understand the gravity of these situations and use that as a shield in order to like sort of justify that we shouldn't be having these conversations at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, like, and the funny thing is
Oh
that
my
a lot of
god.
they just come out and they fucking admit it. You know,
It's a
They just admit it.
rapist.
What happened?
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Look
Just admit it.
oh my god.
I agree with what you're saying. I mean, like, and the funny thing is
Oh
that
my
a
He
lot
just
of
God.
comes in her
they
room
just come out and they
without knocking, by the way. Just saying, dude. Toxic gamer culture.
fucking admit it. You know, they just admit it.
I'm
What
just playing
happened?
around. She seems
Did
fine
you
with
see
it.
that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Look at his hand.
Not we can't see what's in his hand.
You're gonna get a
No, he's-
chair and come sit or what? You already disrupted them, scaring the shit out of me.
Is
taking
that
the
an
ball.
egg? Is that an egg in his hand? Is he eating a?
crackers.
Oh my god. You have
Cactus?
to eat these eggs.
Crackers.
Oh, I was gonna say, who the hell's eating cactus?
Quackers.
Mm.
Celery crackers.
Does he have celery crackers?
Somebody
What the fuck is a
cancel this
celery
guy,
cracker?
dude.
Also, I just want to point that like the main point of a lot of that is just because someone deleted their tweet and all their proof doesn't mean they were lying or that it didn't actually happen.
True.
Okay, because
True.
like Destiny said, they have to take all that stuff down, or they will go to court. And sometimes even when you are involved in like a legal proceeding, you're not allowed to talk about those details anymore. They have to be only discussed in the court and stuff. So.
I think more
Is this something?
people should
Are they
like
are they lying or are they
identify that
lying?
and say that. 'cause
Oh,
I've
it's
seen so
XQC.
many
Damn it, XQC. Get your shit together, bro.
people that as soon as the tweet gets deleted, they use that as ammunition to be like, "Yeah, I told you guys, it wasn't real. It wasn't real." Like, no, when it becomes a court thing, sometimes that stuff gets screen capped and then it's gone.
XQC coming in with the no knock warrants. Just fucking
Felix
around.
wants to chime in too.
Well,
I don't know if that's like his girlfriend or they're in a relationship or if it's a gamer house or something like that.
I saw Asmund say like lower your up, shut the fuck up. And I feel like that would make sense. The problem is that whenever you're in hot water, you're not only in one case or one battle. You're in a battle maybe legally, but also a battle with the fucking public code, whatever.
Community,
with
yeah.
That's
other
true.
People.
That's what Destiny
Basically,
said.
it's like a ticking time bomb,
Yeah.
right? If you don't like diffuse anything like on social media or whatever, you're kind of like losing over time. And even though at the end of the day you'll be right, it won't matter anymore. You'll suffer so much damage that
True.
you'll be wrong.
Pro Jared.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we said that too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
Asmund said you bring up a good point. It's okay. I was like, yeah, we kind of talked about that a bit.
Oh, excuse me.
I have to go, by the way. It's very late for me. I usually stream early in the morning.
Oh, bitching out, dude, instead of dealing with the Swifty allegations.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you
I
for
love you,
coming
Asmund.
on.
Thanks for your input, by the way. Like,
He was so hardcore upset about people believing the Swifty allegations. And I don't know if he flipped on that at some point, but would have really liked to see him address it.
honestly,
Really glad you could come here.
Yeah, of course.
Is Slasher available right now, Devin?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because I
can get him.
think we want to go a little further into this dog situation.
Get
Peace. See you later.
Yeah.
real
you, Asmund.
slash around here.
That's
That'd be
already-
cool.
I was gonna tell him to come get his laptop because I still have it, but he's already gone.
Let's
Can
get
Slasher out?
let's get Slasher in here.
About
So
to
we
get
can-
the big guns.
I-
Say
yeah.
something about Slacker?
mhm.
Yeah, I'll never hear this.
I
Whenever
believe
he wants something from you, or info, or a leak, he's gonna be around. Hey. But whenever we want something from him, fucking disappears in the wind, dude. Yikes, this guy, dude.
Yeah, how did Slasher take
calling out Slasher? That's hilarious.
15 hours to write a tweet that says, "I know, but I can't tell you"? Like, what the hell kind of reporting is that, Slasher? Well, let's bring him in here.
He's not a
Well,
reporter.
he said that. I mean, he said what he knows, right? he knows he knows part of it.
Did he?
But yeah,
Yeah,
Wait, he
just-
didn't say what
posted
he
it during
knows
this
about
podcast.
Doc.
Wait,
so,
what?
So
Dr.
Slasher
Disrespect.
posted just during the podcast while it was going on. He said,
Oh yeah.
for several hours now, I've been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect has been banned. However, due to the importance and sensitivity around the subject, I've refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently.
I mean, he's just trying to be a responsible journalist. Like he's wanting to get the information right before something comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, Devin, I did have a question regarding the
I
ban.
mean,
of
it is
like
what
Dr.
XQC
Disrespect.
called him out for.
If you have a contract with Twitch and then they ban you, do they have to get their money back from the deal, or do they just have to pay that out regardless?
So with the caveat that I have to be really careful that I'm just talking in general, okay, and not
right,
in
right,
any
like in
specific
that
cases.
kind of situation, right?
Yeah. This would be most likely considered a for-cause termination in that there would be some kind of set of agreements within that within the contract that say if these kind of things happen, which could involve some kind of serious ethical or moral violation, some kind of federal or state level crime, right? That would then trigger
Nullify
an
the
immediate
contract.
termination of the contract with no other deliverables served.
Yeah.
And if we're to assume that
Pretty standard
the information about
contracts,
Dr. Disrespect is correct, that this is a permanent ban, then that undoubtedly would have happened.
Mm-hmm. In almost every contract you've ever signed, if you actually scroll down and read it, almost every single one will include an opportunity for both the signer and the person giving the contract to escape
terminate.
the contract if the other party fails to meet their obligations.
Yeah.
And then usually those are done obviously without compensation. If you fuck up really hard, or either end fucks up really hard, there's generally a way out of that contract.
Pretty
where,
standard stuff.
nobody is compensated. And sometimes you might even have to forfeit, depending upon what type of agreement was made in advance. Like if you were delivered some cash up front, you might have to forfeit
Right.
that, for instance, depending
That's
on.
what I was mainly wondering, if he would get to keep what the payout gave him, or if they would find some way to legally claw it back.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
if they can
it's
take back
one of those
past
things I think
earnings. I don't
there's
think that's
more information
probably
to
a
come,
thing,
right? One of
you know?
the things I think I'll say that again, just being very careful, but one thing that I don't think ever seen is Twitch refund subscriptions across the board.
Yeah, that
for
is a
Yeah.
fresh
for a person,
behavior.
right?
From
So
them.
that
Well,
indicates
That is true. I don't
Mhm.
know if like that is necessarily indicative of the seriousness. That could just be a back end upgrade that they finally made, right?
that's true, but even in the case of like
That is
recent
true.
indefinite bans, they haven't done that. Like the subscriptions run out at the end of the month. Like the actual refund, I don't know. Like I guess it could have been in the last like we'd be talking about something like that happened in the last like week or two.
Because
which
people,
is
I don't know if this is true or not,
Maybe
but
a
I've got people in my
month.
chat saying that they did do this for Mitch.
Yeah, I believe I got
see.
my. Yeah, this did happen with. I remember it happened with
There you
someone
go.
because I got refunded for someone else as well. I'm not sure who it was. I can't remember exactly, but there was another instance where I was refunded for someone else.
Mhm.
Huh.
So this has definitely happened before.
So if
it's
I can,
not
here, we have
new.
there's a little bit more stuff here as well. Has anyone really brought attention to the fact that he also Doc lost his Discord partnership?
Yeah, and he lost
Because
another
so
sponsorship.
far it's
as
only
well.
been like Twitch, focusing on Twitch's reaction to whatever X event is, right? That led to the
You got
ban or suspension or
something
whatever.
back.
So
if I
it's like
recall correctly.
if Discord's also doing that, does that provide more context towards like a ballpark of like
seriousness,
spectrum of
yeah,
what could
for
happen?
sure. The people that were tweeting about this earlier said that Doc is done in this space forever, which makes it
Yeah,
sound like it's
I saw somebody tweet that
Yeah.
that he's done like not only on Twitch but like everywhere.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Wow. I mean,
But
to
he
play
did
devil's advocate here,
retain
you guys remember
someone's
Hitbox TV back in
sponsor.
the day?
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
be anybody and go to Hitbox. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know how big the allegation is, but there are some platforms that are totally shameless. Like, who knows? Caffeine might offer them a huge
Gab
contract.
AI,
Like, come
D
on, man.
Live.
Yeah, while that's true though, the question would be: would somebody who's attained Doc's level be willing to go stream on like D Live with no sponsors and no subscriptions? Like that, I mean, he'd effectively be done, right?
And after something like that, and
Yeah,
no
I mean,
offense,
what
but
would be the
also, like,
point
of his
after
age,
that?
I think there's.
Well, hey, calm down.
I feel like the real question might be: is there another streaming platform that can afford it and will be willing to take the risk after seeing that
D Live,
viewers
of
do
course.
not leave
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Live
Twitch
definitely
to
would.
follow you. Example, Ninja and Tra from Mixer, they got like a 4,000 person viewer each return at the end of that buyout. Like, I don't think that's worth it for a lot of platforms, and do the platforms that would be willing to even have the money to afford that?
Well, Dr. Disrespect wouldn't be asking for any payments up front. He's just looking for some place to host him, right? This isn't going to be like a massive buyout
that's
or
true.
something. But it's kind of like the question earlier, where it's like, do we think that like, why can't we have like a more strict vetting process for creators? The reality is that there's going to be some company that will hire some talent if they're getting viewership, no matter how horrible they are. And it's just the same is true for social media. We've got Gab. The same is true for streaming. We've got D-Live. There's always going to be these off platforms that want any popularity any way they can get it, and they don't care who they host.
True.
Because then you can sell your weird medicines.
But that
Right?
is
And
something
you can
like
sell
I
your
was saying earlier,
herbs,
how we all need to speak up.
which is
like,
cool.
I'm sorry, but there's maybe we can't stop it, but we could all definitely speak against it should something like that ever happen with anyone.
Yeah, but you'd have to
that
know. That's the
would be
thing.
in that
That's
situation.
that's what makes the Twitch not saying anything kind of it kind of makes it a little fucked up, because if he did do something fucked up and they don't say anything about it, then then that just leaves him open to abusing other platforms and stuff.
That makes sense.
Wait, say that again.
Unless it's
Like-
just a legal thing,
Like
like he tried
so
to. I think there was a rumor floating around that he tried to like start his own streaming platform or something like that, and if that were the case, right? Then no, his sponsors really don't have any reason to back out, and there's no negligence or anything like that. I just seriously doubt that that's what the deal was. But we'll never know. Y'all looking for treats? Throwing all this shit on the floor. Cozy streamer blanket. So anyway, what would be fucked up is if we find out later that Twitch was sitting on something and not making it public of him like doing something like the sexual abuse stuff or a rape allegation or something like this, because they're basically covering for him at this point. Just would be pretty fucked up, especially if he were to go on to some other platform. Or even retain sponsors. The sponsors deserve to know,
Say obviously it's
Well, really, the people deserve to know, but and I mean that for all possible future abuse victims. What? Hello? And I mean that for. Oh, okay. Hey! No. Go lay down. Get out of here. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. But yes, yeah, that would be really bad if that were the case.
something pretty drastic, something really bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could speculate that, maybe not obviously, but we can speculate that. And if another platform did pick like that very, very problematic streamer up, or a very, very problematic streamer up, like we would all have to kind of denounce that as a platform and be very against it and be very vocally against it. So
Any press is good press. That's what they say.
Mhm.
The louder
Yeah.
we are, the more it's going to push viewership over there.
I
Oh,
also
true.
think it's. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idealist. I think that the industry, if the issue is as serious as what we're contemplating, that the industry won't tolerate that. Like, while there will be some.
That's what I mean more. Yeah.
Yeah, there will be like some website that will host like. It's effectively a full blown.
You can't know that.
What,
Nobody
what,
can
it's
know that.
effectively finished. He might appear.
Well,
as
and I
some-
mean, D Live, right? I mean, they're okay with anyone, right? I mean, they're a big free speech single issue site. They're not gonna silence someone because they have some rape allegations against them or something like that.
some place in some form, but as a shadow of what it formerly
Yeah,
was.
he would be. He would if he is
Yeah.
anywhere. It's going to be on one of these really off.
And they would have to, because otherwise they just destroy all of the audience that they do have.
Content places.
Yeah.
that are not really
Because they're no
like
longer the free speech
D-Live will host
platform.
literally anybody. So
You see
Right.
his wife's response on her Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it makes you wonder.
Yeah,
Well,
you might want to tell people though, for people that haven't seen it.
Yeah, so she says, the outpouring of love and support, strength, and kindness from the arena has been truly overwhelming. You all have made my heart full, and I cannot
Sorry.
thank you enough. No one better out there than the Champions Club. You guys are amazing. Much love to you all. Heart.
What is the arena?
That's what he
That's
calls
like
That's-
Doctor Disrespect.
That's what he calls like right. His channel is the arena, and then the Champions Club members are watching in the arena. He's comparing to like a stadium, for sports players. He's equating his chat and his thing as the stadium, which that's what that
This is taking an incredibly cynical look at things. But I would hope that whatever is going to be reported about him, I would hope that this occurred very recently and it didn't occur months in the past. And Twitch only feels comfortable acting on it now because Mixer is down and they're not going to lose another big talent to Mixer. I think that would be really, really gross. But
I didn't think about it actually.
yeah.
What was? Oh yeah, I think Triax. You put your hand up earlier. Is there something you wanted to say before I continue to the?
It was back before. Crap, what was I gonna say? It was something about Twitch parties in general. Oh crap, what was I gonna say about that? So yeah, Destiny earlier was saying how like there's always gonna be a platform open to hosting garbage people because metrics and opportunity to grow above like any kind of like consistent morality code or standard of ethics or whatever, right? And in that regard here, I feel that that's definitely something that we can also apply to. Hey, I keep bringing back here to TwitchCon, but it's kind of the thing I feel like I understand the best is like the thing that I attend that women may be the most vulnerable at is TwitchCon for me. I don't really go anywhere or do anything else otherwise throughout the year as a streamer, right? And it's funny because like if I were to agree that these TwitchCon parties can get pretty wild, not just the TwitchCon party or the partner mixer, but the Discord party, the Red Bull Lounge, the Monster Cat Ball, the whatever. There's like 5 parties every single day of the whole 3-day con, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunities for women to be like, picked up on Ubers or awkward followers or known female broadcasters who have like, awkward stands that don't know when to like let go or go away and all that. And there's been like this idea in my head. It's like, okay, well, what if we have like tighter regulations on like making the environments more safe, so that way the next TwitchCon and our post like Twitch purge of Me Too progression, we have everything like more tightly knit down. But then I thought, kind of like what this is saying here earlier, is like we could have these like pristine parties that like have like super regulated rules and all that. But wouldn't like one of the parties just be like, hey, we have open bar, we don't care, we're relaxed, get in here, and y'all just go buck wild. So I feel like it's always going to be this case of like the lowest common denominator of like.
Yeah. Another problem with like a lot of the way this works is
they don't have to be officially sponsored.
That like rapists are these like creepy people that hang out in alleyways that like jump out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, this is wrong the whole time. The problem with a lot of these circumstances, and if you read a lot of these stories, you'll get this over and over again. It's not even that they realize something is wrong as soon as something gets super fucked, but it's like sometimes it takes a while afterwards to realize like, fuck, I was put in a position that I probably shouldn't have been, and I started saying yes to things that I didn't really want to, and now I realize that like my judgment was like super warped and compromised. Like after I've got some distance between me and the event. So for a lot of these things, like the only thing you can do is change the culture. Like all the different security in the world isn't going to change, some guy, that might decide whether or not you're getting a sponsorship or not, trying to fuck you later at a hotel. Like all the security in the world isn't going to change, when you go to a bar with a friend, if he like slips something in your drink or tries to get you maybe more drink than you should be because he knows he can get you to agree to something if you're just drunk enough,
No, and a lot of it doesn't even happen at parties. Even as like a startup creator back in 2016, I would go to TwitchCon and I would get older, like more established streamers in my DMs inviting me to their hotel rooms. One of them invited me to sit with him at the League of Legends Worlds Cup happening next door, with wine in the picture, wanting to get me drunk. So it's like there's definitely like things that happen that aren't even at parties. Social media is too powerful for that to be something that if you take precautions will kill it completely. There's still going to be ways that guys will try to approach girls and take advantage of them.
I was gonna say at TwitchCon, I'm pretty sure last year, wasn't there like a big thing about a lot of people getting roofied at the party?
No,
and them also serving
they weren't actually getting
at an open
roofied.
table.
Correct.
Oh, with the drinks open. And
That was nuts. There was that huge.
The partner mix.
A whole bunch. I don't think a whole bunch of people got roofied. I don't think that's accurate. Vote has just been quiet this whole time. There was a large bar area with a bunch of open pre-poured beer that would have been very easy to slip something into.
Mixer out.
Nothing. I don't think anything ever came of that as like a. I don't think anyone was ever drugged or anything like that.
On the outdoor street that was closed had just like bulk prepped beer in red Solo cups.
And
it was just there wasn't people near it.
Out there for
yeah,
hours.
standing.
That was just so bad. Yeah.
There wasn't anybody standing around it.
I was
like,
talking to
stop
my
someone
business
from
partner,
doing
and
anything
we
with it.
were,
But nothing ever
we
came
were
of that.
thinking, like, so we're gonna probably sponsor an event that like it's just a no alcohol event. I don't know why more people don't do these. Like they're cheaper anyway. You don't have to buy out a bar or anything.
True.
And just like have
probably
something like that happen.
There'd be less,
so that there's like an option for people.
Less people
like I don't know how many
going
times
to
I've been at those parties.
But
and
yes,
I've been like,
there should be an
the
option.
music is super
obviously.
loud. I sound like that fucking like
No.
yeah, like I sound like the dude
Old
like in
man
the corner, like,
Devin.
the music's too loud. Like, but you know what I mean? Like the music is too loud. I can't hear myself think. I can't network. I can't talk to people about shit. I'm not here to drink anyway. Like, why is there not a place with not like no flashing lights and like?
I agree with that type of environment. I also agree with that type of environment and allowing people to drink in that type of environment as well.
And I'd like to like see that actually happen.
I've been
that's true.
Man, you guys say that.
I've
But every
been
time
so
I get to talk to
embarrassed.
people,
Oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
every time I talk to people that say that, they always end up fucking like. I remember like because I'm the exact same way at events. I don't like to go to play. If I've got to shout to talk to somebody, I'm just not interested at all. I don't give a fuck. I get
Same.
frustrated and then I just leave. And I've had so many people invite me to parties. It's like, oh yeah, it's really quiet here. It's really cool. And then finally, you might have even done this to me before, Devin. And then finally, when I drag my ass out of the house or the hotel or whatever, and then I go down, it's still the same fucking stupid loud fucking shit. Fuck you.
Well, I guess that's why I gotta do it myself. Destiny.
That's done that to me as well, motherfucker.
I've been so embarrassed to like admit that part because I thought it was a product of old age. But even for restaurants, when there's a live band, I immediately like just want to get up and leave. It's like when I'm
It depends. They
I
can
wanna
do
look
it
at my
nicely.
food, enjoy my food. Like
But,
food is
yeah,
just like when you
generally-
hit a certain age, food is all you have left. You understand? Food, right? Food
Oh
is
my
life.
God,
Food is
Trade.
everything. There's nothing
will
more.
never judge me.
Hilarious.
Yeah, there's nothing more to look forward to but food. You know, it's just the greatest thing ever. And when you're sitting in a restaurant paying for a nice meal, and suddenly there's a live band playing fucking drums like
Get
you're
outta
fucking
here.
16 years old at a rock band concert. It's like, listen,
Get
my heart
outta
can't handle
here.
this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
done
gonna
throwing the
fucking
ball.
Sensory
die.
overload. Yeah.
It's the worst feeling.
I don't know
Dude,
why,
when you're
but
at-
that's like the only thing that works.
Never
Tell her to get the
been
hell
a
out of here.
moment for me that I'm at a restaurant enjoying my food and I've thought, wow, you know what would make this even better? A live band. It's never happened. I don't know why they keep bringing live bands. I don't know. I can't.
Have
do
you
it.
ever had
Unless
that
you want to like
sinking-
go out and dance or whatever. Like, yeah, there's like no fucking point.
Have you ever had that sinking feeling where you're at like a cafe and like you're having a really good time and then like someone comes on the stage and you're like, this is poison, like we're here and they're setting up and you're like, oh no, like I was having such a good time.
You get to the restaurant at 8:35 and you don't know that at 9 o'clock it's music.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh my god, or the worst is when it's fucking karaoke and you don't know it. Oh shit, I've ran into that before.
Stop, dude.
It's
Kara-
so funny,
karaoke
like
night when
hearing
you're,
this.
when you're sober. Ugh.
Oh, that is terrible. That's the worst. That's the worst. I don't like karaoke. I don't.
I mean,
know.
I'll even better. When you're the DD, like in a pre like Uber world or whatever, like when you're the DD and all your friends are getting shit faced, you're just like, I feel like I'm an adult babysitter right now. I'm surrounded by man children in their diapers.
If
Yeah,
you're
so
not gonna
boring.
drink, don't hang out with people that are drinking.
Yeah,
That's the
it's-
worst way to
that's-
waste your fucking time than hanging
Not
out with
wrong.
drunk
I
people.
mean,
that
I
are not
think
drink- yeah.
people that are
Holy shit.
designated drivers
Slap.
are good to have around, you know. But like, there are people that are okay doing that type of thing, or even like people that will be cool with like a rotating schedule or something. But I mean, if you don't like it, like what Triax is describing here, then obviously you
what's
should not be
crazy?
a
Like,
part of that.
Mexicans, I'm a Mexican. We hire bands to play very loud instruments, and for one guy to sing very loudly, like right in your face. You pay them to do it, and
The mariachi bands.
yep, mariachi
Yeah,
bands
they
and
like
all.
literally come up to your table like
Yep.
You're like, holy
loud as
shit.
fuck. There's no talking when that thing's
So I can
playing.
ignore my family.
True.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah. What a terrible week. Couldn't be worse.
Oh,
honestly.
good. I'm
You know
glad
what would
they
be worse?
skipped.
What?
If
Mhm.
you
the
didn't
content
know the secret
again.
that how many of us 43,000 of us want to know, that'd be worse. Just a tiny little bit.
Okay,
Literally
this-
just a bit.
Here, I am going to one. We're gonna circle back, Train. I have some stuff for you. Adept,
Good.
you're not helping.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Continue on. Next topic.
He wants
Which
to
is
talk
fine.
about
Actually,
it, I'm
I mean,
sure.
look, we should go
I'm
with a
just
joke
teasing,
and do
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, of course. I'm just saying, in general, for Twitch chat or for anyone listening, the more that you speculate, it could be a fun thing. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I feel like we could still talk about like possibilities, but I don't think it's helpful. On a larger scale, it is not helpful, and that is the main reason why I have not given any indication of the reasoning, and I've tried to keep it pretty curt in terms of what I have reported. So, you know,
Is this because
think
you
in a
know
larger.
for sure? Because you don't know for sure, or you don't want to say.
I mean, I have to make a judgment call based on what I get told in all situations, no matter what the story is.
Mhm.
And then I have to trust my sources who are telling me it, and then gauge, you know, what they are telling me. And that depends on a few things. Are they first party sources where they are being told information directly from, you know, a place where I want it to be? Or are they getting the information from somebody else who is talking to someone in a position of power, which I'm looking to get information in? And then I have to, make a basic judgment call on what I want to do. Even though I'm an independent Twitter person currently, I still follow general journalistic ethics and wanting at least two sources for every story. I will never post a story that it was only coming from one person or one place of being. So even though I'm like relatively
Is that
confident in
journalistic
what I have
ethics?
been
Because
told,
I'm not sure that that is,
it is serious enough
something that necessarily happens
that
all the time in journalism.
I don't think it's worth.
I think single
talking about.
sources
So I'm not
happen
going
all
to
the
say
time.
anything. For the rest of the podcast, I'm not going to mention anything about what has
I mean,
happened.
get the
with-
fuck outta
in terms of
here.
Reason why I'm down to talk about like everything. What
I'm
this
just fucking around.
means for Twitch or for the future of streaming, or we could make a larger context. But I'm not going to give a reason or any of that.
No, yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting it. And I don't think anyone here. I actually wasn't expecting you to say this much, but I respect what you say and the way you're going about it.
Yeah, but like your tone
adept.
is like dad tone. Like we're not talking about this right now. Like so much so that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait until it comes
Bose,
out.
I'm not trolling you on the podcast, but that's just Slasher's tone.
Yeah, this
that's
is generally
This is like
that's everything. Okay, if Slasher's
and look,
giving,
I don't want to Keemstarify it. Okay, I don't think that's a good way.
I like that he's
to
been
talk
shitting
about
Keemstar.
certain
It's pretty
things.
funny.
And for everyone, this is not going to be a fun thing. So, you know. But it is a big fucking deal, and he definitely is permaban. He is 100% permaban. He's been permaban for the last 8 hours. The removal of the subscriptions and stuff is just the after effect of the decision. And then his Discord partnership has been eliminated as well. So it is a secondary company that is involved in this situation. Twitch and Discord haven't released anything. Twitch has released a basic statement to a few press outlets outlining breaking of the TOS, which doesn't mean anything because it's just like the standard thing that Twitch says in these certain situations. And then Dr. Disrespect's wife has posted on Instagram 45 minutes ago, which if you really want to talk about, that is, I don't even know actually how to process that.
Why?
He doesn't say anything. All of this is happening. I'm not hearing great things. And then his wife makes an Instagram story thanking the Champions Club and thanking the Champions Club is the subscribers, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
the army is like the main
arena
fan base.
Right.
The arena.
Yeah.
So for her to be making a post which is pretty ambiguous in her post.
Well, he sounds like he doesn't know shit now.
Guy at all. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Respect's real name is Guy. Or actually
Is he
Herschel.
saying the fact that
his real name is Herschel. Then changed it to Guy, and his own Dr. Suspect. So it is odd. I gotta say, I don't. It might be connected to like what it is, but it's definitely interesting. He says nothing. Nothing comes out. Obviously, it's a very serious situation. Like I've been yelled at by his PR. That was really fun. That was a fun time. I had a great time talking to CAA and his PR. That was nice.
You talked to CAA about it?
CAA is his agency, and they were thrilled, obviously, about all of this. And they love to tell me how thrilled they were to talk to me too. They definitely got that impression. They were loving talking to me. So, I don't know. Given all that, the wife's Instagram post is just, I don't know, really out of it doesn't seem normal. And considering the past history, I don't know if it is connected, but it just seems odd.
What a dumb
Odd in
statement
what way?
to
As
make.
in, like,
yeah.
it sounds like she's supportive
She's
toward
supporting
him.
him.
Is
Yeah.
that what it sounds like?
So the one.
No, I was gonna say it sounds like she's supporting the fan base.
Yeah, the
Right.
one weird
Supporting
word
the
is whether or not she's saying like she said like my heart instead of our hearts or whatever. She made it sound a little like separated from herself, but that's getting like pretty like nuanced in terms of how you're reading the message.
Right.
Some people have like interpreted that as like she's like whatever is happening is so bad that her and Doc are no longer together. But I don't know.
This is looks like a pretty like heavily edited statement to me, just because of like some really small things. Like it's gonna sound so dumb, but there's an extra space after the word enough, and like before it goes into no one, so it almost looks like there was a sentence or something that was deleted. So her statement might have been run by his
The
own
levels
PR
of
team, too,
speculation
and
are
they might have asked for a bit of
astronomical. Jesus.
The attorney was definitely involved because the first thing an attorney is going to say is don't say anything at all, like Asma was bringing up earlier. But like XQC said, it's tough because there's two different venues or two different areas where you're in. It's not only the legal area, but it's also the space of the public opinion. So the attorney definitely ran through that, and he probably couldn't make any statement. So she asked if she could, and probably, I mean, my assumption is that she could say something about my.
Jesus, the level
our,
of speculation
our,
right now.
100 other things are assumed that how he feels toward that.
This middle one here.
It's a big mess. So I'm assuming it's an attorney thing, to why it was my instead of our. Does that make sense?
I can give a little bit of insight. This was
Whittle?
handled outside of trust and safety.
I don't even know what that means.
Saying legal dealt with it.
Trust and safety is the one that, deals with the ban system within Twitch.
I guess I made a mistake here.
This was not a decision that it was given to them.
Means I also made a
This
mistake.
was made outside of trust and safety, and it is not DMCA. It is not DMCA.
Mm-hmm.
For just to talk more about the statement that she made, I mean, there's a few things that come to mind. Like, I know that when someone speaks on like Felix, for example, I'm way more overprotective and want to speak out and correct them like immediately than like whatever they say about me personally. So maybe it's protective, but also maybe it's standing by their side too. I don't know their dynamic a whole lot, but I mean, Dr. Disrespect is a huge person on Twitch, and he is a provider, and sometimes someone stands by their provider no matter what. Yeah. No matter what. It's just gonna happen. And then also I don't know how to interpret it. I think it's very odd that she spoke out on an Instagram story of all things before
Like I was right.
anyone knows what's going on. Like how can the community be showing you love, I guess, when no one even knows what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a million ways we could speculate, but I don't think we're gonna get any closer to solving anything.
Apparently,
Well, I'm not trying to solve things. I just think it's like, why are you making a statement when no one knows what's happening?
You're trying to solve
Let
things.
everyone not know what's happening, and that's what everyone is advising, I guess.
It sounds like what you said. It sounds like a woman standing by her man. And sometimes, like, if she's like so like overcome with emotion or something, she might just be like, I need to say something. I need to do something. And you do it on Twitter, it makes a huge splash. But an Instagram story, 24 hours.
Well, I mean, again,
Instagram stories make just as big a splashes as Twitter stories. We're
did anyone
currently
think about
in the media.
how? Because it was never really
I mean,
mentioned.
I know these are
and
probably all Twitter people, but
could be
I'm
of
so
how,
sorry.
Jesus Christ, train, please.
What?
What are you
I'm
doing?
so sorry. For some reason, this the program I use for Scuffed, can you just turn off the super alert in general? For some reason, super alerts don't get muted. Yeah, super alerts don't get muted when you mute every other alert. Super alerts stand alone, and they're like immune to any mute. So they just go through no matter what. Just remove the entire super alert, and we'll recreate it later during a personalized stream. Thank you. Sorry about that, Slusher. Continue.
So this isn't connected to the reason at all, but this will be connected to the weirdness of her post, maybe. Yeah, Devin? Okay. So, does anyone, whatever happened with him coming on the stream during the situation with his wife of where he admitted that he had infidelity, how did that all happen? And why did that all happen? We never really found out why did his wife make him go on the stream and make him apologize in front of anyone. We really don't know why that happened. That was kind of odd too. I gotta say, the whole thing was just weird. Again, I don't know if there's any connection. But
Okay, so I don't know if Slasher is baiting right now, but one of the rumors out right now is that supposedly it was either a Twitch employee or a Twitch streamer that Dr. Disrespect had some sexual relationship with. I don't know if it was consensual or not at TwitchCon, and people are saying that there was some agreement that was made where they would keep all of that quiet if Doc came out and owned up to it on stream and took like a month break. But apparently that streamer now has gone back to Twitch saying they want to make a better deal, and Twitch was like, no, fuck you, we're just going to get rid of the Doc. That's I don't know if Slasher's intentionally or unintentionally alluding to that, but that's one of the rumors floating around right now.
I really don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I mean, I don't know that. Whatever.
Well,
comment on the internet.
What was that comment? I mean, why would that? If that individual was scared to get fired from their job, isn't the HR team already comprised of a limited amount of people. So being specific about the detail of being part of HR would already, you know, kind of create
We're
some
speculating on speculations. Like,
right?
we don't, there's
So
literally
like,
no
why even
Dude,
mention that?
Breaking news. An anonymous post on Reddit. I'm just thinking about it in terms of like, okay, so all that happened. She's been through so much. We have no idea how their
Yoko.
relationship is.
Relax.
So we can't really tell, you know,
I don't even know
how
what she's
supportive
growling.
she's in all his
I get
videos.
what you're saying. I think I feel like I get what you're saying. Like, it's hard for us to say, yeah, this is a supportive woman. This is a woman that stands by her man. When, like, if she was the person that made him go live and do that to, like, save their
Right.
marriage, then, like, really, what is going on in that house? And we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Slasher, do you have any idea when you think this is going to be public and
That's
people are
what
actually going
debate
to figure
is,
out what
anyway.
was going on?
Nope. It is the weekend. It is the weekend. I don't know. I still am not sure if this is coincidence, but you know, for Twitch, dumping news at 5 p.m. is a very standard thing that most companies do. So they may just not hear. We might not hear anything till Monday.
If there's not an official announcement by Monday, I don't know if there will ever be an official announcement about it. But if this is so widespread that Discord is banning him, I would be shocked if it didn't leak. Like, that's like, it would be unimaginable that something of this caliber doesn't leak out if multiple companies. Oh, I'm sorry, because it's not actually just Twitch and Discord. There was a sponsor as well that terminated their contract with them too. I don't remember which it was, but there's no way that it doesn't leak. There's no way that like only 3 people know about it. Like, there's going to be quite a few people that know about it at this point, and none of you motherfuckers can keep your mouth shut. That's why Slasher has a job. So 100%, like it'll leak like within like a week.
Also,
I would be shocked if it didn't.
Didn't Loaded take them off the site or take them off?
He's not a Loaded client. He's a CAA client.
Oh, CAA. Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm so sorry.
From people that I've spoken to, this really is being kept at the highest levels of Twitch and anyone involved in the situation. So out of all the stories that I've ever covered with this company, I've never seen people so tightened up about something.
Has Twitch ever had...
I've had more knowledge of the Ninja Mixer deal, like everything going on in that, than I know what the hell is happening right now.
Has Twitch ever had like a similarly large streamer just completely leave the platform like this?
Not in this way. I mean, you know, Ninja moving to Mixer is a business deal, and all the business happenings that are going to be happening soon. Again,
It just
with
implied
Ninja
that
and
it wasn't
Shroud,
a
those
business thing.
Insane, lucky people. They won the lottery. Like that is going to happen, but this is not that.
So do you think there are going to be larger implications on the platform, or this is just a one-off thing that happened with something like kind of like a freak incident?
Depends what it is. This depends what the reasoning is. I mean, look, there is some chance this is some insane Facebook co-op. That's not what I've been told, but it could be some crazy go to Facebook, break the Twitch contract, and like I don't know, do some weird deal for $50 million. I don't think that is, but I mean, other than that,
That would be so shocking to time this deal around what's going on now. I can't think of a worse timing.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you know, so unless if it's a business deal, I think it's kind of whatever for the industry. If it's not, if it's like a personal thing, I don't think it makes the industry look great. I don't think this is making gaming look good right now. I don't think it's the point. But like one of the most high-profile streamers for the platform, we're going through a very serious, you know, Me Too movement right now in the entire industry, and then have something like this happen, I don't think showcases the industry very well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's related to what Devin was talking about earlier about how this movement is going to already make gaming look like a less appealing space for any kinds of advertisers. So I imagine adding that Dr. Disrespect, one of the biggest streamers, is leading is only going to make that worse. At least for the short term.
Especially when he was starting to get some non-endemic coverage as well, right? Like he had the he had 2 big ones, and I can't remember what's the one that he did the commercial for or whatever.
The WWE or whatever. Is that what you're talking about?
But he did do that. That was true.
Yeah, he's had non-endemic coverage like that too. Yeah, he was on Kimmel and everything. Oh, Gillette, didn't he have some type of official? Did he ever have an official Gillette affiliation, or was that always just memes?
I think he did, didn't he?
I think
Because that's
so.
that's a pretty huge non-endemic sponsor. I don't know if he did anything official with Old Spice as well.
I mean, he did just
I
get
think it
re-signed,
did actually.
but-
The first time.
Yeah. So like these are like massive, like first time I believe non-endemic sponsors coming into the space to sponsor someone, and if it turns out that like that's really 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 rough. Like that's a big lessons for sponsors to stay the fuck out of gaming because it's still like not ready yet for the big time.
Well, how long do you think it would take for them to be comfortable to come back in? What would the timeline be for something like this?
Probably same as Corona.
Years.
I mean, that is.
What does that mean?
Dude, like the coronavirus and everything that's happening has destroyed the advertising industry. So no advertising, they're not advertising in anything online. So there's like a whole, this is only on top of, dude, the world is so fucked. The coronavirus is going back up too, but whatever. We'll talk about
Oh my God, Florida reported over 9,000 new cases today.
Texas,
Dude, we're
Arizona.
reopening in places that didn't even fucking ever
Well,
actually close or do anything. Yeah.
Texas and
You-
Arizona
You,
is
got to throw out the right
bad.
numbers, bro. It was almost 10,000. It was 9,600 plus.
So
Uh,
look, Doc just re-signed a huge multi-million-dollar deal with Twitch. So for all of this to happen just a few months after him re-signing a deal to be one of Twitch's marquee stars, on top of this now coronavirus, it's not great. I mean, it's not like this is isolated to gaming. This movement with women coming out about their experiences started with wrestling.
So now he's implying that
last
it's
week,
about
and then it kind of
the Me Too
migrated
type
into
thing.
gaming, starting with Sano Rage and the Bungie.
I'm just
situation,
saying,
and now
it's,
we've even seen it go to the ED.
certainly seems like if it's not involved, certainly talking about it a lot, as if it is involved.
Industry. So this is like a real digital movement for women outing shitty men in their industry.
Yeah.
So earlier we were talking about how like no one that knows can speak on it, but I think a lot of people were like thinking that it might not be related to everything that's going on now, but I think from what we're talking about here and the one topic that we're staying on, it sounds like in a way that
it is related. Yeah, thank you, Traden, for being the only one paying any attention.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean,
Jesus.
Yeah, it sounds like it's related to all the.
It sounds like it's related to all, right?
Yeah,
Like, so
it sounds
I
like
haven't heard a possibility given where it might not be related to any of this. All we keep talking about is this. I don't know.
Yeah, but none of us know, so
Yeah,
there's
none
not
of
much
us know
point in
what's going on.
like we can just
Like,
guess and
this
guess.
would
but-
be worst case scenario without the specifics of let's see what would happen. That would be worst case scenario for larger implications of this industry or what is happening.
I mean, we know whatever it was, it must have been pretty serious, right? We can at least rest with that, right? I think didn't Dr. Disrespect have a deal with Twitch to stay on platform? Him and like what, like 4 or 5 other streamers? How many streamers got those deals?
Tim, Lyric, Doc.
It was like less than 10, wasn't it, Slasher? Do you know that made it public?
It was like 2 waves
and
from what I saw.
Summit. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
like 4 or 5. Dude, the
Well,
amount of money
there's
that
more
I
than
told that Summit and Tim were offered by Mixer, they're gonna want to cry for I think the rest of their lives.
Possibly, yeah. So whatever it was, like this was one of Twitch's like few streamers that actually got an exclusive offer like in cash from Twitch. So whatever it was, it has to have been like super ultra fucking serious. Like, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Do you guys believe that Twitch should bring things to the public like this? That like what the policy on Twitch's bans, that where they don't discuss these things with the public? Like, is that a good policy? Should that be changed? Like, what do you guys
it's a
think about
dog
that?
shit policy, but Twitch gets to hide behind it, and there's no pressure for them to change. So we'll always keep it because they're spineless fucks.
Or
Well,
that.
there must be some legality.
There's no legal bullshit. No way.
Well,
They can't discuss bans publicly. What? No way.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with going about it like this and not being transparent with what's going on is that
They leave it open to speculation.
They leave it open to speculation, and also it looks like they've deemed him guilty 100%. But if they're not sharing it because of possible sensitivity or a PR team or a legal team, then in that stance, wouldn't we assume that it's still being like fought on a legal level?
Nah,
But-
Twitch keeps it secret because Twitch doesn't have to deal then with any inconsistencies or ambiguities in their policy. If they were to start being open about why they do certain bans for certain people, they leave themselves open to questioning. They'd have to defend it even more, and it's just way easier to just say, no, we're not going to comment anything whatsoever on it, because then they don't have to worry about any good or bad decisions they make.
Like they never commented publicly on Bless RNG and the 4 other streamers that I Am Spoon that were originally banned. Like I was told they are permanently banned, but it's not like Twitch commented and said that they are permanently banned. So this is not just a doc thing. This is a general way they do stuff. And yeah, Steven is right on the reasoning.
Were these bans indefinite bans or actually permanent bans? Were they indefinite suspensions or permanent suspensions? Because there is a difference between the two, right?
Yes. Dr. Disrespect was permanently banned, and the other ones, they are permanent banned because permanent. You know what's really funny? The way that they worded it in the official Twitch website is permanent suspension, and I ended up mentioning something to there, and I was like, dude, do you know what words mean anymore over at Twitch? Because those two things are the opposite. And I gotta I laugh back, but it is permanent, which is indefinite. It's almost kind of like the same thing because to companies, it doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, of course, they're supposed to mean different things. Indefinite is supposed to mean could be unbanned at any time and likely will be unbanned soon, but you have some indefinites which have been permanent.
The way that I've heard this explained behind the scenes at Trust and Safety is the reason why they call it indefinite is because their idea is that anybody could theoretically be reformed and get unbanned. That's how I've heard it explained behind the scenes. That's why they call it publicly an indefinite suspension, because anybody could be reformed and come back. I've heard, I don't know if I saw this first party or if it was just people like you tweeting it out, though, that this, in the case of Dr. Disrespect, it was explicitly permanent.
Yes, it is explicitly permanent. This is
which is meaningfully different insofar as Twitch's suspensions go.
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, those other guys could be permanent. It's just that less people care. Like I am not totally clear. I mean, I know that they are. Yeah, like it wasn't. It was really difficult to blur the line between these two things, permanent and indefinite. So seems like they're permanently banned. I Am Spoon, RNG Bless, and the three other.
I think with Warwich's case, there were literally messages of him talking to a child. She literally was messaging him and said, "Oh, I just got off the bus," and he asked her about like, are her parents okay with them talking? Like, I think that guy's permanent. Oh yeah.
Wait, which person was that?
Warwitch TV. Like, she's talking about getting off the bus, and then later on he says asking something about her teen parts. Like, straight up asked her all of this. So I think that guy's perma. That's why I'm like, how serious is this?
I mean, like, I don't speak to him. I haven't spoken to him in like 7-8 years, but he comes from esports. He used to be the main caster for RTCW and for Quake, and
bless you.
And I've known about this guy for, I don't know, 16 years now, but I haven't spoken to him in a very long time. I guess I'm not totally surprised.
You should clarify when you say you've known about this guy.
I'm like, from video game. Not from this. Yeah, because he came up in the esports scene a long time ago. So this is fucked up. I think they are also permanent and not indefinite. But again, very difficult. Like, they're trying to make it ambiguous as possible. Twitch is trying to make it ambiguous. The reason why people were banned, not clarifying things on purpose. Steven in general has a good perspective on that.
Jesus. That is
probably avoid.
No, it's bad when Steven's got the good perspective.
They explicitly banned 4 Twitch partners for sexual assault. I think that's maybe a pretty juicy headline for like a New York Times or WAPA article, right? Like, Twitch bans 4 partners explicitly sexual assault, blah blah blah. Like, maybe it avoids some of that bad publicity a little bit. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, luckily for Twitch, the sexual assault problem has been so widespread in video games that it has not just been focused on that company. So,
maybe there's
good news for Twitch is that everyone is a piece of shit in the video game industry, not just streamers.
Actually, I'm curious what your guys' opinion on that, because with a lot of the news right now, it seems like it's more esports has this huge sexism problem rather than pointing towards Twitch. Do you think the attention is going to move more towards the platform or just stay like this, scattered throughout the industry?
Probably scattered.
I mean, I've really tried to be keeping track of everything that has happened over the last 4 days in terms of where the reports are coming from. I mean, you have reports coming from almost every single individual community on Twitch. It's not just Twitch. It's like the StarCraft community, the Dota community, the WoW community, Overwatch community. You have like all the Destiny community. You have all of the individual games.
Game.
Yeah, which are all huge by themselves. So you have like different community scandals in all of the games, and then you have a larger problem, which is like Twitch culture, which encompasses all of the games together, which is where Twitch culture comes from. And then on top of that, you have gaming culture problem, which is Twitch. I mean, there's been multiple developers who have been implicated in things. You had the main guy from Ubisoft had to step down. You had Cards from Humanity. CEO,
good. The Ubisoft guy
there was
down.
outed
That's
as
good.
an
Because they knew
for
about that
sexual
shit
assault. So you have a ton of
for a
things happening
while.
throughout the entire gaming industry, and each of
Didn't
them
say
are
shit.
like layered inside of each other. Twitch for sure. Streamers have been the most egregious, I think. I don't know if you guys talked about all the reason why the gaming industry or dudes in video games are like this, but it's a lot of fucking like ugly dudes that have never had any social interaction, have never spoken to girls before. They don't have no idea how to talk to women. They cannot have a direct conversation of women. They've never fucking had a girlfriend. They've never even spoken to one. They've never had their first kiss ever in their life. And then they also
watch porn too.
Yeah, the way that they speak to you
Hey, fuck off. People can watch porn. Porn does not dictate someone's behavior. Jesus Christ.
starts with their fantasies, not with what's
Sorry.
presently in front of them.
Don't insult
I would
my
also say
porn.
to caution that too. It's
confused
not
on-
just like guys in gaming. Like this is like an issue that like wrecks like the entire fucking world of business, right? These aren't necessarily things specific to just like gamer
Okay,
bros.
sure, Steven, you're totally right. But in a certain context, nerd culture or guys that are into this culture
Can
definitely
be pretty
from-
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely from my firsthand, own experience and just seeing this culture. Yeah, these guys in this industry do not know how to fucking talk to women more generally than most guys in the world or whatever. Like, there's
I mean, you observing all these fucked up things happening and not saying anything about them, which is part of the problem, bro. Sorry, I just don't have a lot of. I mean, they're not wrong. There are people that don't know how to interact with women, don't know how to interact with people in general. But then there are people that do know how to interact with women and do know how to interact with people in general. And they do this fucked up shit way more often.
the overlap between
Just
all
saying.
the shitty communities on the internet and fucking video games is usually pretty high. Uncoincidentally. So, the people in this industry, you have these guys that then get fame and become huge streamers and then get money and power. And then there becomes a huge power imbalance between guy who was all fucked up and now has money and power and fame in an industry which is now the biggest in the world, which is video games, surpassing everything else. So with video games and this entire industry getting huge, and then you combine it with how dudes act.
I'm getting huge.
Right.
Online, yeah, Steven,
Yes.
you're right. But then you add on all of the culture, and then you have guys that are addicted to the internet and video games, and they're sitting indoors 10 to 12 hours a day, and they're not having any human communication, and they're not talking to definitely
Fuck you,
women in
buddy.
the real world at all.
Right, no, that's
to
what I
some
want to
extent,
clarify too.
To some extent, I kind of want to agree with you, but the big problem though is that when you talk about those types of nerds, these are the people that are just really bad at pickup lines or talking to girls or even breaking the ice. These are guys who just suck at that. A lot of the behavior and the accusations we've seen haven't been from awkward nerds.
Right.
It's been pretty predatory behaviors by
Right.
men in positions of power.
True. God
And that's a
damn.
narrative that
Thanks
has,
for
been true
standing up for the gamers, Destiny.
throughout the entire world, probably for all of human history, but especially now, cross industry. If we look at a lot of these accusations, I can't think of any that I've read that I could chalk up to oh, that's just oh my god, the awkward gamer bro thought that since he was the CEO, he could fuck the girl, LOL, just gamer. It's not just an awkward gamer bro. It's pretty specifically guy is in a position of power, wants sex from a girl, knows that the girl needs something from him, and then decides to abuse that position. I think.
Right.
How did you guys feel about the Twitch blackout that was supposed to happen?
I was just about to ask her. Yeah.
Blackouts are big movements like that don't have a stated goal. Is just, I think it's really dumb. Oh fuck! Actually, I wish Triax was here. He actually had a really good idea. I think a better idea would have been for 4 hours, you get a bunch of large streamers on the site to black their screen out, but put a message saying we demand this response from Emmett Shear, so that if you went anywhere on Twitch, you'd see that.
Yes.
I think that either something like that, or getting a bunch of people to stream in protest on YouTube in violation of their
my idea.
contract.
Right.
Oh really?
Well,
that
I
would be
love that
another.
one.
Get 100 big streamers to go and stream on YouTube. Yeah, that would be one too.
Dude,
But
Yeah.
If you could avoid legal issues with Twitch, yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm-
no, well that would be the challenge is forcing them to
Right.
take legal
Mhm.
action, and like because they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like the headlines, like everybody comes together to protest Twitch's treatment of whether it's sexual harassment or whatever. Twitch takes action against all 50 whatever streamers. Like that would be a nightmare headline for them. There's no way.
They'd be done.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way.
A lot of this stuff people bring up like legality all the time. Most of the stuff is fought in like public arenas, like fuck lawyers. Like a lot of this shit is like not gonna ever make it to court. A lot of it just comes down to winning in the court of public opinion more so than any actual court with a jury or judge.
I feel like the boycotts that are most effective are any kind of financial boycott. And to do a Twitch blackout is the exact opposite of a financial boycott because it costs them money to run these streams for hours every day. So, I mean,
Totally.
actually, an even better financial boycott would be putting those messages up and people just leaving their streams up for 24 hours. It would cost
True.
them so much fucking money. And
Right.
then they're not going to turn those streams off.
I
Right?
don't know about.
No,
There
that's
probably
true,
wouldn't be
because
that much
staying
money, to
silent
be honest.
completely
I mean,
doesn't really work because
the
if anything, you
infrastructure
get all
needs
the
to be
people who
there
care
whether
about the
people are
movement to
using it
depart
or
from the
not.
platform.
Like, I don't think the financial impact would be that bad. I think the PR damage would be much, much worse than the financial impact in the case of this type of movement. But look at me, I'm here on YouTube. Look at me.
For a day,
those
while the
that
people
don't
who are
stream.
callous to it get higher views for the day. It doesn't really work out very well.
But I also think the
Like, YouTube has better streaming tech, man. Look at my stream right now. You see in the bottom right where you can hit the settings button and then you have quality options? You don't get that on Twitch. You just don't. You don't get it on Twitch.
financial argument is a little bit different because just having one day and not
have to
everybody's
be
going to
partner
join the
for
movement.
that
It's just
to
like
get
a
it
drop
on
in the
Twitch.
bucket for Twitch. So it really has to be something bigger if it's actually going to make an impact.
That's why you go to YouTube. That's why I posted that on Twitter.
Going to
It's
YouTube would be
like,
way better.
yeah, you get like 30 or 40 broadcasters together and say, okay, we're all gonna go stream on YouTube today, and it doesn't even have to be that many. You just get some of the big people do it. Like Hassan Abi was willing to actually do the blackout day, right? He would have been willing to stream on YouTube too. You just get a
Well,
number
we
of
don't know
people
that. Blackout Day is
Yeah.
easy. That's a
guess
vacation
true,
day for
yeah.
streamers, and we
Mhm.
don't lose any fucking money on it. Like we know you dumbasses are gonna sub the next day anyway. Like it's not
Yeah,
like we're
you're right.
actually like
Yeah.
making a sacrifice to take like one vacation day off. You know, when we're clocking like huge 6-figure or sometimes low 7-figure incomes. Like, yeah, it's
Mhm.
not a sacrifice. Like now streaming on YouTube though actually puts out like you put your neck out a little bit, right? Because you know you're gonna get some kind of pushback from Twitch because you're technically violating your not technically you are violating your
gonna say
contract.
that.
Is that actually true? Because when my understanding of like the non like exclusive partner contracts is you just can't stream to another place at the same time. So as long as
My
there's-
understanding is that affiliate contracts right now lock you into exclusive streaming on Twitch. That's my understanding.
Okay, so I think that affiliate and partner contracts both, as long as you don't have a custom exclusive contract where you're getting paid by Twitch,
Mhm.
are exclusive only for the time and 24 hours after the broadcast. That is I have that on pretty good authority, but I'm
Wait,
not
wait,
100%
wait, wait. Can you
positive.
repeat what you're saying? Sorry.
Yes. So if you were to stream your content, you technically can't. That content is technically exclusive to Twitch for 24 hours.
Correct.
After which you can then post it wherever. So if you don't stream for a day on Twitch and the next day you stream on YouTube, as long as you don't multi-stream to both platforms at the same time, you should be fine.
My understanding is that the spirit of how that rule is written is you would have to record the video 24 hours beforehand. That clause is written in there to prevent you from multi-streaming unique streamed content, not giving you like a 24-hour cooldown between platforms you can stream on. So what
Well-
that thing is basically saying is that if I wanted to show like my content on another platform, I need to wait 24 hours to upload it to prevent dual streaming. But I couldn't just not stream for 24 hours and then start streaming on another platform 24 hours later. That whatever I'm streaming there has to wait 24 hours from the time of broadcast to be placed on another platform, technically.
Right. I understand what you're saying. We're getting kind of technical here, but I guess that's the nature of the contract. So what the way that I interpret that and the way that we've always interpreted it, because we've done events in esports on like other platforms, and we've been able to do that even though we had people signed to Twitch deals. And the reason for that, I think, here my justification would be, if you are not paying a person to be on your platform and you hold them to exclusivity, which has a value to it, that's it's very strange to me that they
I
would
agree,
be
of course. But like
okay,
you
yeah,
if anybody here that's ever been banned before, Twitch will straight up tell you if you ask them like, "Hey, can I stream on a bot?" They'll tell you like, I wouldn't recommend it, dude. It's going to look really bad. Like it's against like they'll straight. You can DM your partner manager and they'll tell you that clause is written in there. Also, by the way, it's a very poorly written clause because technically it prevents you from putting up YouTube videos within 24 hours. Twitch just doesn't enforce it. Yeah, because they suck shit at contracts and most legal shit they do. But the reality is that clause is supposed to be there just to prevent you from multi-streaming. Period. And I do agree, of course, that it's very weird to do that if you don't have like exclusivity deals where you're actually offering cash up front or some sort of incentive for somebody. I could kind of see it maybe for premium partners because they give you better than a 50-50 split for payment processing. I could kind of see it there, but like, yeah, for just affiliates and like low-level partners that aren't premium partners, it does seem pretty strange. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Solely for any live audio, thank you, Vandy. Solely for any live audio visual work that you choose to provide to tell us as user content, your live content from the beginning of the initial broadcast and any such live content continuing for a period of 24 hours following the initial broadcast of the live content. Such live content is exclusive to Twitch.
Yep.
You will not or permit or authorize any third party to broadcast, stream, distribute this in any manner. Notwithstanding the foregoing, you have the right to make any live Twitch content available during the exclusivity of solely via Twitch services. Yep. After this exclusive license will become non-exclusive, you have a right to broadcast, stream, and distribute, exhibit, and otherwise make. Yeah, so I think it's in the spirit of how I imagine it.
No. What it's saying, it's explicitly saying any live broadcast you do is exclusively licensed to be broadcast on Twitch for the first 24
live
hours.
Twitch content. It says any live Twitch content.
But I'd have to go back and look at my partner contract, but my guess is that content is going to be defined in an earlier section. And what that content is it's going to be any type of gaming or audio broadcast, or not actually non-gaming now because of the newer Twitch contracts. Yeah, you can run it through someone else, but I'm 99% sure that it's saying that any live content that you broadcast is basically exclusively licensed to Twitch for the first 24 hours, regardless.
Okay, I'll try to get a better answer because I think we're probably holding up the podcast. But sure, I don't think I know. Okay,
sure.
So for all what.
Welcome, S-Fan TV.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hey.
What's up, S-Fan? Yeah.
I have a topic for S-Fan in a second, but in a larger way, it's the same thing with the putting your screen to black for Black Lives Matter. There should be a directed goal for an online movement to have the most impact in how it would affect the real world. And I think sometimes online activists don't really put as much thought into what they are trying to accomplish in the end with whatever they're trying to do. I don't think the putting a black square
only 24,000 to go,
and I don't think that this there was a BBC article about it, but it didn't seem like it had a huge impact on either like giving money to the organizations or charities that deal with like women who have been like abused before, or it didn't like have any direct action on making like Emmett Shear do anything, or like make Twitch do anything. I don't think it really actually did anything, and more people should think about.
It's going to take a while before my ears can take this.
I mean, organizing shit online is not easy. That's the other thing. If you're trying to reach the most amount of people possible, you need everybody to agree. And in both the Twitch blackout and the Black Lives Matter, icon to black,
it's going to take a little while before my ears get used to this.
Even do it, that obviously it was not the right approach.
Yeah, it hurts the movement.
I'm going to have to just mute and we'll listen to it on over the speakers for a while.
You're organizing a movement like this and there's not a clear leader because everything is happening online. How do you even start something that's going to maximize impact?
I mean, you would look at like the larger broadcasters that you would hope would be on your side, and then you would kind of hopefully pressure them or look to them to declare some type of statement that other people would kind of rally behind, basically.
So then do you think it needs to come from a larger streamer? Maybe if they would start it off and then gather and use their clout to get other people to do it?
Yeah, for sure.
You're right.
100%.
That's actually why I was like upset at a few different platforms on Reddit that were giving shit to a couple of the streamers on my podcast for the BLM movement for Color of Change. I was like upset at them because it's like obviously these individuals know they don't kind of like this podcast. There's a lot of avenues I'm not too sure about, so I don't speak. I let you guys talk and educate others. And for that charity stream, they knew that they didn't know much either, but they knew they had a big platform and they wanted to bring their platform to that podcast and educate them through the other people that we brought on. And people seem to not understand this. They would have rather these individuals talk and speak on something they knew nothing about, instead of just see the bigger picture that now they're, bringing their audience, that's a big one, over to this event. Does that make sense? I was really upset at that, but people don't realize that. That was just my 2 cents. Right?
I mean, I think that makes complete sense, to be honest.
Well, Slasher, you're laughing because of the beef.
Well, I mean, depending on no, I don't think having Greek had anything to do, if for example, on situations like this is good at all. I think platforming something like that is bad. And Train, I have a question for you. This is a great segue. This is a fantastic segue. And look, I'm not trying to, by the way, put you on the spot. I really want to have you've had a great discussion around this topic.
I was about to put you on the spot. Here it comes.
It is relevant. I just want to put ahead of time. I'm not trying to attack you. It's not what I do
Wait,
here.
wait. Before you go,
oh my god, this is gonna be a savage attack.
Before you go, can I take a piss?
Yeah, sure.
Because I know if I take a piss after you do it, it's gonna look a certain way for optics. So let me take a piss first.
For optics.
The thing with me is, and that's why like this entire thing that's been going on right now is an eye-opener to me, and I understand why the way I talk is perceived the way it is, because a lot of people who like do these things talk in a certain way, and I realize so many different fucking things now. But I like when I used to go on rants and talk about certain things, I assumed people knew. It's kind of like in real life when you're with your boys in high school or college, and a rap song would say, these hoes ain't loyal or something, right? You knew what they meant. You knew they weren't referring to all women. They weren't referring to most women, some women. They're referring to a small percentage that went right. I assumed that people had like this just basic understanding. So when I said something, I assumed they knew what I meant. But I learned through Destiny and through like different situations that I can't expect people to know this. There's going to be people that take it in a way where it means all. It means like they can't differentiate the context of where this applies and where it doesn't. They just put a blanket like thing over everything where what I'm saying applies to all women. And that's one thing I took away from Destiny through a lot of different arguments and me being stubborn, but finally I think giving in the intention versus effect thing and understanding that I need to be way more clear and specify exactly what I'm talking about to the fucking T. Otherwise, it's going to be taken in any way that person perceives the world to themselves. Does that make sense? That's like the biggest thing.
I'm gonna shoot a shot then after Slasher.
Okay, go ahead.
Why is it that the only thing you tweeted in regards to like all of this wave of sexual allegation shit was basically a tweet saying that some of these allegations are fake? Does that seem kind of weird?
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't tweet that.
So you retweeted one person saying, people really be using the stories of abuse and sexual assault victims as a platform to air your dirty drama laundry, and it shows. And that's like the only thing you've tweeted about these. Do you think that might hurt the image a little?
No, I retweeted Renee. It was a streamer that said that, so I retweeted it. I don't understand.
Yeah, but he was asking, why is it the only thing that you tweeted or retweeted about for the entire week of...
Well, I've liked, if you go through my likes, I've liked everything. I wasn't sure what to, like, if I retweet one case, it looks like, and I don't retweet the others, it looks like I'm favoring one and not believing the others. So I tried just doing likes across all. As far as the comment from Renee, I just retweeted it because there was.
So is this the like Attack Trainwrecks podcast? Like I think
No,
he's making it very clear that like he, by virtue of the fact that he has everyone here and we're discussing these issues, like I think that's a statement in of itself, is it not?
I don't think so. No way.
I think that's fine, Devin. I don't think this has been hostile. I think these are fair questions to ask Train. I think Train is a big enough person where he is part of the larger context. I know you want to, defend as hard as you can, but I don't think this has been unfair or these questions are unfair.
I guess I just kind of don't see the point in the context of what we're talking about.
I'm sure you wouldn't, Devin. I'm sure you wouldn't. But I mean, personally, I thought that Summit made one tweet and I went after him for similar reasons that I think that Steven's question to Train of why is that the only thing you retweeted is fair. I don't think that Summit's tweet as the only thing that he's commented on through the entirety of BLM, through the entirety of Pride Month, and through the entirety of the comments that have been made so far, the only thing fucking Summit tweets is innocent until proven guilty. And that is very telling to me, even though inherently his statement is not wrong, and we can get into that and what he was saying. I think it is more telling that that is the only thing that they wanted to contribute to the discussion. I think that is not an unfair question or something to ask.
I mean,
is he
I've
obligated
answered,
to?
Well, no one's
no,
obligated. I mean, I could go out right now and tweet rape all women. I mean, I'm not obligated to tweet anything. What kind of question is that? I mean,
Well, my point is like maybe just say like he doesn't feel like I don't know, like.
No.
well,
So
no,
then,
just like let's say that there's like a huge shooting, okay, and like 20 people die or some shit, and then somebody tweets out like, why didn't the teachers have any guns? And that's like the only thing they tweet out or something. Like, wait, it's pretty. You're kind of like showing like where you're like what your underlying political thought is.
well,
I just said like sometimes we talk about how like the problem is like not what we say but the effect of it or whatever, or like, well, you know, people hold me accountable for things they don't say or whatever. But it seems a little weird when like the only thing you've tweeted in regards to all of this was just retweeting somebody that's basically saying some of these allegations are fake, and then that's like the only thing that I ever saw on the Twitter timeline. But
Yeah, it just ends up being like a bad look, like where.
But why
Yeah,
not?
I understand.
Why not message me and say, hey, Tyler, by the way, this looks this way. Like, I want to teach you that, you know, this looks this way. You just retweeted this woman that's pretty big in the Twitch community, verified on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And this looks this way. So I think maybe you should do this. Like, why wait until a 50K viewer podcast and corner it and assume that I intended the worst possible fucking thing by not retweeting any other case and only retweeting her? That's the part I think Devin is saying. It seems a little weird. Like, if you
Yeah, that, and I think that this entire podcast is in the context of talking about sexual misconduct and allegations
No,
and things like
hold
that.
on,
how we
hold
can
on.
improve
Okay,
those
hold on.
things.
No, no, wait,
And like
so-
all of a sudden, this like narrative about how like Train is doing all that, like
No,
what
because
is this?
That isn't a
so
narrative.
the hard thing about this is that like we're talking about like changing a culture, okay? Nobody's brave when they come out and say rape is wrong. Everybody knows that, okay? It's easy to read the stories and go, oh my god, when he forced on the woman, it's so wrong. That's easy. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Congratulations. You don't even get a participation trophy for coming out with that take. The idea is can we change the culture or get ahead of these things before they happen, right? And one of the big problems that comes out with a lot of rape accusations are people saying like, these are fake, these aren't real, people are just airing dirty laundry, blah, 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 blah. Like that's the front end of somebody getting raped and then having a story to tell 2 years later. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and come out and be like, why are you not tweeting or why are you tweeting these certain things or blah, 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 because it's not my place to say it. I'm just saying that when you act in a certain way, it kind of like makes people wonder, like, what are you actually thinking about or what's going on inside your head? It's not like a behavior to correct. It's like a behavior that makes you wonder, I guess, is all I'm saying.
And it's definitely not an attack. And Train, I'll just answer you from my perspective. I even responded to Summit saying he asked for people to DM him after he made the tweet and put up the stream. And I made the tweet specifically public and told him that we need to have this discussion in public, and it is better for the community to grow, and it is better to have these types of conversations in the public light than for us to have some fucking DM thing after you've already said something. Because after you have already put something out, and by the way, I don't think your retweet is any, like, Summit's tweet is way more egregious than your retweet, just for example.
Yeah, I don't think your retweet was bad or anything.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I think
think
I've actually gone through some accusations on stream where people are just airing dirty laundry when they call it an accusation.
Yeah, and that is definitely happening. Like, this is happening. Renee's tweet isn't wrong, and there is like merit to Summit's tweet as well. It is just the situation of how it is happening and what has not or has been spoken about before, that there is a larger context to make, and that is why I replied to Summit in a very public way. I even said at the end, I know you wanted this privately. I'm not going to do that. This is going to be a public discourse. If you are already going to put something out like that, you've already gone past the wanting this to be private. We are now in the public arena of, you know, massive influencers with a lot of influence talking or not talking about serious issues. And I don't think it's like, I don't hate Summit. I don't hate Train. Like, it's not about like that extreme narrative is not good. People need to have more nuance, and that is a larger discussion about all of this. People don't need to like, you can empathize with a victim and what they're going through and how much they had to go through, and then not go try to attack the other person with 1,000 replies and like try to destroy their life. You can empathize with people that need it, who were hurt, and not try to actively, you know, demonize and destroy the other person. That is like a larger aspect of things. I can have it.
But don't you? But don't you feel like for example, like, so that's all I retweeted and I didn't comment on anything else. I mean, I liked a lot of different like, you know, all my followers can see what I like. They see Trainwreck is like this. I liked every, you know, account that was written, and I retweeted that thing by Renee, which, you know, some people saw, but now everyone here is going to go look at that and it's giving more platform to that thing, right? And
Well,
since,
so to be clear,
you
you're giving it more
understand?
platform, right? All of us here know that retweets are better than likes. None of us are stupid. Everybody here knows that you like. I would rather take like 1 retweet over like 50 likes any day of the week, of course, right?
I think the point is, though, to change a culture, you might have to risk overcorrecting in the short term. And I think that's what we're trying to do here, is change it instead of promoting the doubt that some people have.
Yeah, I think
overcorrecting is a better option.
Yeah, that's a really good overcorrecting is a better option. I guess what I think is that with this whole movement, so many people were on the brink of like possibly changing their opinions because there were no more people really supporting them, saying like, yeah, no, don't believe them. It was just so like saturated with these stories that were hard to not believe. And so the minute that these people were like, okay, maybe I should look into this, but then suddenly Summit tweets this, or somebody really big like puts that doubt back into them, they don't go to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think Summit's tweet was, good at all. It was definitely a net negative, and he had so much support. That fucking tweet, and the people around him. That tweet had 100,000 likes. It wasn't just people like quote dunking him at like me who think he's wrong. Might even be the majority opinion over everything.
Right.
If you really want to see through the
should
line,
should I unretweet this? What should I do at this point?
No, Train. It wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I just wanted to hear your thinking.
Well,
I'm not trying to.
I'm asking you now what I should do from this point forward, because if I don't unretweet it,
I think personally, Train. I think just in my opinion, it would have been better to hear you be more vocal about supporting of the women, and then you can also add that in. I think that is more fair. I have tried to at least be more fair in my tweets and retweets.
That's what the that's what the
Yeah,
podcast
but
was
likes
meant
are
for.
not likes
I
are not
thought
tweets.
I thought a podcast would be the action versus the words.
Well,
right?
you're a huge person now, Train. I really care what you have to say. So but truthfully though, I know you don't think maybe tweets are as important, and that's fine. That's a fair answer, but I don't think it is an unfair question. You could do whatever you want,
So I mean, is the objective here to encourage influencers to go out and use their platform to voice support and potentially to condemn the ones that are not doing that? And I'm not trying to start a fire. I'm just asking a genuine question about like I think this leads into a more productive discussion of like, how do we start addressing these problems as a culture, and how do we fix these things?
You
Is
should
that
be
part
supportive
this?
of like the messages that are kind of encouraging a cultural change.
Well, define supportive. Like, what action is behind that support?
I don't know. It could be liking or retweeting something on Twitter. It could be talking about something on stream or giving a voice to a certain person on stream. I could be having guests on a podcast like Train does. Like, I mean, there are a ton of different things you could do.
I mean, I do think overall in these situations, and especially with like recently Black Lives Matter, emotions are high, and there should be, if we're trying to be good people, more empathy than more than any other emotion that you can have would be empathy with the people who are speaking out. Even though there's always going to be another side of things.
God damn it!
That happen, whether it's like there's actual rioting or people killing cops in like a BLM standpoint, or there are false accusations here. Like those things are real and they are happening, and they can definitely be talked about, and you can have a serious talk about that too. But I've found trying to be empathetic and really trying to understand and be a good ally for the people who are speaking is a better use of people's time. It's a better use of trying to make an active change for good in the movement, even though you need to be fair. And it's not like you should close your fucking eyes and put your hands over your ears about what is happening on all sides, and you really want to be truthful for things going on. But I try to choose the side of empathy more than anything.
Right.
I just feel like, I mean, I understand that logic of overcorrecting is better than like undercorrecting or whatever that was, but at the same time, like it's not, that can't be used as a justification or a rationalization to allow like innocent people to go, right? Like, so even if it's a small percentage, like it's still not, it's not enough, because it falls into other things of exactly what we're fighting. Like, does that make sense? So like, it's not like, yeah, it's completely like, I understand what you're saying and I agree with you, but at the same time, we still need a level of oversight and accountability. Otherwise,
No, definitely. I think it requires like a delicate understanding that like at any moment in time when an accusation happens, there are two possible timelines existing, kind of like the Schrodinger's cat example.
Yeah.
Like you can support the person making the accusations, lend them your ears and your attention and your empathy, but you can also like do that without jumping to irreversibly damage the accused. It's possible to hold off, your views on that before you just attack and ruin
Yeah.
the career and let it play out, but you still need to be there to provide support and empathy to the people who are being brave enough to come forward and encourage that behavior, because that kind of behavior does at least make people more aware that things like this happen and hold themselves accountable to like, holy shit, do I do this to them, etc. It might actually save lives to be over empathetic than just jumping straight to be like, no, they're definitely fakes, like what you might want to believe if some of them are your friends getting accused. Like, it's actually important to listen to people coming forward.
I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, so like, okay, this is my last one. I'm sorry, I love you so much. So like, in going through all of your likes, I don't think you liked a single written statement of harassment.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I see liked the statements of like people that are making like counterclaims.
No, I
of like.
Keep scrolling.
Okay.
You can go through all of my likes. I really liked. We'll go through it now. Celine wrote a story. I liked it. Let's see who else. You just have to go through it because it's all mixed with. I like a lot of different things.
Oh no, never mind. You did. You like Jambos? Play with Jambo. Okay.
Tommy.
No, you did.
Yeah. Gothics. Pooper Noodle.
Yep, that was fake news. You're redeemed. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Get fucked, Steven.
Fuck you, Slasher.
I think it was cool how a lot of people, S-fan like you and Method, made a decision that could potentially compromise your income to do the right thing. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I mean, the thing is, like, I said Thursday morning is whenever I tweeted. I mean, realistically, I made a decision Wednesday, right? Like, I was like, there's no way. Like, this is like whenever everything came out, because like the Raiders had talked about it, and like I had gone to the World First Rate, and it's like they knew one part of one thing. Like people like knowing one part of one perspective, one part of one thing, one perspective, just a fraction of all the other stuff that came out was just like, what the heck? Like it was just like machine gun, like boom, one thing after another, boom, boom, and everybody's just kind of like, what the hell is all this? So it was just one of those things where for me it was like, yeah, even like we were working on a new deal for like a few months, because I was planning on reworking my contract about a year ago, and then my contract technically ended for 4 months, but I still had all the Method branding and stuff on my channel, because I was expecting to re-sign with them and it was going to be all good, and we've been working just back and forth on like new contract and working the deal out, and it got to the point where the deal was pretty good, and then just right whenever, I was pretty much at the point where I was like ready to sign, or like I guess make a final decision, and then that happened. I was like, there's no way I don't want to have any part of it, like regardless of how much. I just don't have any part of that. And then, subsequently, like everything else happened. So
yeah, there was a weird period of time. Sorry, if you had something more.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like, Annie is like a really close friend of mine too, and I knew because she had like mentioned it before, like there was like, she felt a little bit weird about Sasha, but like I didn't know the extent. I didn't know all the details. I just kind of knew she had said in the past that she felt kind of weird about that and Method. But yeah, like Annie's a really close friend of mine too, and that was not good.
There was a period of time where, similar to what happened with OP Group, like it was the information had come out, and it was kind of like I had this like feeling that if like one influencer left, that was it. Like it would create a domino effect where everyone's like, all right, like we're out. And I think when Wowhead dropped their sponsorship, and they had like an actually really savage statement I think it was until Method's HR is unrecognizable from how it stands now, we are ending our partnership. And I was like, God damn, like that's an intense thing to say when you're a partner. And then with you stepping down, I know the PoE team, like that's like Havoc, Scissorin, Steel Mage, they were all talking as well. And then they made a joint statement to remove Method branding. And then that was just like the dominoes fell. That was kind of it. And I don't see how Method, realistically comes back from this.
Yeah, and I don't know how many guys made a decision like together, like as a group, who were in Method, who decided they didn't want to have any part of it anymore. I'm sure the Raiders probably talked about it and some stuff like that. For me, it was like, I don't know. It just kind of depends because like there's different parts of like every org, right? Like they have teams, and there's like just like people who are just like personalities for an org, right? Which is what I am, right? I'm a part of a team. Like they signed me as like the first guy that signed for Classic WoW, but it's not like there's not like a Classic WoW like esports team or anything. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like people just kind of made their decisions, but I think most everybody's on the same page here, right?
I do want to give some insight into this because I have some information because I've been following this and I've kind of know this organization. One, fuck Method. All my homies hate Method. Yeah, just like Devin said, this org and both OP group and Method might be completely done so. Yeah. Due to all of this, or depleted so much that they're going to be totally unrecognizable. Yeah, they have lost so many players.
100%.
Yeah. So a few things about this that I do want to clarify. I made a tweet that like Blizzard employees confirmed to me that Method knew of this ahead of time, and here's what I will say to maybe clear up some confusion. Method did know ahead of time that Josh had some interaction with minors. But that could not be proven. But they had known that as early as, I believe, or early 2019, somewhat in 2018. And they have had people send them over many years that Josh is a piece of shit as a person. And that he had been either messaging underage girls or he had been directly harassing like individual women. So many different women have come to them over the years.
To be clear, for all of Method's management and that HR lady at the least, those people had all of the information about Josh being in underage Discord servers and like soliciting women and shit.
So they knew about this stuff. They do know about Josh being a piece of shit. From what I
not
understand,
just a piece of shit. When someone is a piece of shit, that's somebody that like tells you to kill yourself when you lose a League of Legends game. Not somebody that's asking a 15-year-old they can fuck them, right? Two different things.
Yes, no, you're totally correct. I do not have proof they knew anything about the investigation with Cooper. And I think that is a distinction that I do want to make with people. It is known that Method definitely knew everything that had transpired with the minors and all of the different harassment and I would assume this Discord with Josh, but the actual investigation very well could have been continually lied by Josh to everyone, and everyone being a complete fucking idiot and a fool and believing it. That is something which I've seen many streams say that they've never known anything. Is that possible for Sko and Sasha and Dejari? I do think it is possible that Josh lied about the entire investigation and the criminal court and everything that happened, especially because there was no charges given in the end, and lied about everything to Method. I do not have proof that they knew about that.
What about the clip with all the rating team where they heard Josh talking about how he had an active investigation against him?
Okay, so from what I understand, that is true. He did have an active investigation. Remember, he was permabanned from Twitch as soon as all this happened. So from what I understand, the team didn't know what it was about. All they knew was that he was banned, and if he went on stream, they were all going to get banned.
So the owners of the team, I'm just trying to walk through this. So the owners of the team knew that they had a member that had been indefinitely suspended from Twitch. They had no idea why. They didn't think to ask about that. They didn't think to maybe some serious shit happened. They had no idea.
That is a very fair point. That has not been addressed.
Something else that's actually interesting here then is what obligation would Twitch have had to say something there as well? Because do you think that Twitch should have communicated that to Method? Because arguably they could have prevented a lot from happening too. If Method would have found out about that information, then the liability was completely on them. Maybe they would have went public and separated from Josh, and we could have avoided some of these scenarios.
That is actually another very fair point. I've been unable to verify that aspect. I've thought about that as well. Those are two very good points. The Twitch ban was indicative that there was something already major happening So for everyone, I think the rating team and all those people are definitely just lied to by Josh Plain every single day of Josh lying to them. I am unclear about Sasha Sko and how much they knew about that aspect. They definitely knew about everything. They knew about the Twitch ban. I definitely think they had responsibility to not fuck this up. It's definitely their fault that this is happening, or they let this happen. They had enough evidence. They don't need fucking Josh's heels on the fucking team. It is unbelievably such a ridiculous reason to have all this happen. Not to mention that like he was streaming on the Methods Doyu channel this entire time up until 4 days ago. They are completely complicit in promoting and establishing him within the brand, on top of everything else.
So just to run, like, just to understand. So you have it on reasonable authority that Method did know, or at least was approached about the issues with Josh way before.
Yeah, because there's already a Kotaku article. There's been emails. There's multiple
Well, not
things.
just the Kotaku article, but there were a couple of women that came forward and said that they had shown an email to Method, and that the one lady that was on Twitter acting like she was so good, the Derry or whatever her name was, like, oh yeah, I stand with you guys. She had explicitly sent an email back to the people that had given them the logs of evidence saying, listen guys, unless you've got like an actual fucking police report, fuck off. That was Method's response. Method absolutely knew what was going on, but since there was no police report, they figured there wasn't enough pressure to do anything, so they told him to fuck off. 100%.
I feel like that's the most damning thing out of everything, because like as an executive of a major company, like you want to address ethical violations immediately. Like you never. Yeah.
But what happened? What's the difference between Josh now and Josh back then?
I think back then they just thought that they could get away with it. It's sweeping
Well,
it.
almost. Back then, Josh was getting 15,000 viewers on Twitch. That's the difference.
Right.
I don't even know how big of a company Method was. The last time I looked into their financials, their net worth was less than 100,000 quid. Like, it doesn't seem like it was like this huge, massive cash cow. Like, it seemed like they were riding a lot on a few popular figures, just from what I saw from the outside. Maybe they were more. Yeah, but like I mean, Josh was basically a huge cash cow back then. They don't give a fuck about if you rate or whatever. It's esports, right? And then, but now that Josh is nobody, of course they'll drop him instantly. He's streaming on some no-name Chinese site. They already tried to go through Twitch to get him unbanned, which was verified. They tried explicitly to get him unbanned, but it's easier to drop him now because he's not worth anything. Yeah, I think that's what.
I mean, he was valuable for the
Being a
world
piece of
first
shit
race.
would have resulted in removal a
So-
long time ago if he was a smaller streamer. But because he was such a big streamer, they probably just kept him on as a cash cow.
Yeah, I mean, look at Joker. There was no police report against him for picking up that item, right, or whatever.
There was.
Was
Classic
it?
Classic
Was it
Waffle fans
filed?
are very serious.
I need to have a stronger response.
I'm the one who. Classic Waffle fans are very serious.
To have a stronger response from someone who ninja looted an item in a video game rather than the years of abuse that Josh has is so indicative of the gaming industry at large and how certain people value like the problem.
Well,
of what is-
Joker's not on their world first team, like their raid team for
that's
that.
a good point. That's a good point.
And that's what their big thing was. They had like Red Bull sponsors and stuff with that. So Josh was very critical to their raid team and world first. So it is a little bit like more obvious like why they would keep him or like try to maybe overlook some things and like listen to what he had to say. And obviously he probably had an answer for everything. But he was a really fucking good healer. He was like a damn good healer. So
Well, but that-
Joker's not part of like their world first. He's classic, you know. So
Yeah, of course, but we're basically just saying that it was a matter of financials.
Yeah.
Then they don't actually care
Yeah.
about any of the allegations. And then if you look at the way the CEO ran his shit, it's pretty clear this guy doesn't have any corporate experience in his life doing anything. So I mean, yeah, it all probably blended together for they were just trying to maximize their short-term gain, and they figured nothing would ever come out about him.
But again, not totally.
Sorry.
Not totally sure they knew about Pooper Doodle. So I don't think it's again worth like totally condemning them for this specific thing because even I do not have proof that that is true. I mean, you can say that definitely they were responsible for not kicking him before, given everything that has happened and knowing the certain the context situation. But I do not no proof that they actually knew. I mean, I have a larger question. Of course, this is all fucked up, and Method is pretty much dead, and you know they all have to believe. I gotta say, we all knew Josh from streams and everything. Is there like a better example of a more psychopathic, controlling type of character in abuse of power and sexual assault than we've had in all of the allegations than Josh? And you tie it together with his character on stream and how he
the
like
problem is
TV
that like
incel or
I don't
whatever.
I don't think you can really do that because you can't really tell the difference between like what's jokes or not. There was only one event that actually happened that should have been like a massive red flag outside of the jokes, and that was that fucking car accident he got into. That was like the big like what the fuck, where apparently he was going like 130 down the freeway or whatever, and wrapped his car around a tree with a fan in the car. That was pretty
Holy
fucking
shit.
insane. Yeah.
He had a girl in the car, and he was like laughing about it. Stuff like that.
But like other than that, like it's really hard to see it ahead of time. Like I mean, like you could take anybody on this fucking podcast, me especially. If you were to take the right jokes, you could like, oh, this guy's definitely like a psychopathic rapist or whatever. Like depending on what you're looking at, right? You don't really know until somebody actually does it. The difference between like what's just jokes and humor versus who's like actually fucking crazy.
Wait, wasn't this the guy that like on a first date told the girl that he wanted to like line up black people and shoot them or something? Or, like,
Yeah,
some
that was a
race
story.
or- Yeah, like it's like I don't know. Like at what point is that a joke? Actually, I had a friend that was hooking up with a girl. It was a girl like in the streaming community, and she on the first date asked him like, "Do you want to watch snuff porn with me?" And like that was like,
What is that? What's
It's
snuff?
not porn where somebody is actually killed, not
thought-
play killed. Actually
What?
murdered.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
like
she
it's
said
real?
that-
It's not actors?
It's real.
Dude, it's incredibly illegal. Like people literally die.
I thought snuff was the stuff you put in your fucking lip, like the tobacco.
There are multiple definitions for some words, but I mean like that.
Jesus.
She, sorry, Train. She literally said that on a first date, and I mean like, is that something that? Serious question. Is that something you guys would take as, oh, she's joking, or this is a major red flag? Because I feel like that's almost in the same arena as I want to kill people.
Is that like deep dark web stuff? Like Tor? Is that what that is?
That's right on the web. Depending on which sites you go to, I'm sure you could find like live leaks or some.
No, it's
bullshit.
because like way back in the day, like during like the war and stuff, like there was like certain sites for like the I don't want to say the behead. You know what I'm talking about? Like, is that the same sites? Is that illegal to like watch this?
Some of them probably have. I don't think it's illegal to watch it. No.
No, I'm talking about the stuff at like war. You know what I'm talking about? The fucked up shit that scars you for life.
No, like gore videos are not illegal to
The
watch.
gore,
Not in the
yeah,
United
yeah.
States, at least.
The gore stuff. That shit.
I grew
dude.
up on that videos.
What?
Ogrish?
Dude, I thought.
Ogrish.net, yeah.
I thought I was, dude. I thought I was.
Talking
I thought I was being edgy, and I like watched one, and dude, I was like,
I could never watch it.
I was stripped of like, dude, that really like that's like it really. I don't know, dude. Like, there's like a greater. I don't know. That was. It like makes you realize the bubble like we're living in our. Think about that. Like there was like I remember hearing the screams chain. Dude, I was fucked for a while, and that was bad. Like I thought I was being cool and edgy watching with people. Like it was bad. It fucked me up, dude.
Yeah, it's stuff. I remember when I was younger hearing about. I don't know if this is actually a real thing. Have you guys heard of red rooms, where supposedly like there are people like watching someone being like tortured or something like that, and like people online can command what they do? Is that like a real thing, or am I nuts?
I saw that.
Welcome to the game.
No, that was in Criminal Minds. I saw an episode of Criminal Minds where they like raided a place like that, where like everyone's wearing like those. Like their faces are covered in a shadow, and then there's like someone they kidnapped, and they get to like pay for what they do or some weird shit. Is that what you're talking about?
I feel like it's not real. The only reason why I say that is because I've never in my life heard of like a bust like happening. Where like, oh, police busted a red room. I've never heard of that in my life. It's possible they do exist, but I've never heard of one being like discovered in a legal sense.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, here's the thing with Twitch. The Twitch UI isn't really like. I know they just did a big like overhaul and they made some things look nicer or whatever, but like, there's just everything. Twitch always seems to have some weird bugs. Like hosts that don't work.
Like, somebody's fucking clips now. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb.
but
Like, why do I have to click like 5 times?
I think
like,
hosting is still broken. It's been like 6
hosting is
months.
broken. Yeah, for like a year it's been broken. Yeah, like if I want to go look at somebody's VODs, I gotta go click on his profile picture, which nothing tells me that I have to click on his profile picture.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if VODs exist.
The trained behavior, the trained user behavior is clicking on like a picture of a page you're on usually just goes back to the same page or back to like the beginning page or whatever. Not that you would have to actually click that to access anything. That's really, really, really strange.
It's really bad. It's not. It is not good. Because you go and then all of a sudden you have a schedule is really good. That's like about the only thing that they did that's good. Then you go to videos, and then I have to click again for clips, like filter by clip. It's just dumb. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's really frick. I'm annoyed. Okay.
Dude, I'm reading this. I'm so sorry to derail you. I'm reading this like thread. This is like some Illuminati shit going on. Like, have you seen this thread regarding the video? Like, are you guys looking at this on the side here? Like, I'm not even sure what I can show and what I can't, but it's like people are saying that like he's leaving clues behind based on like what he's talking about after he's like aware of it.
You're always gonna get this shit when people don't know the facts. Like you're always gonna get these insane
internet,
speculations.
Just the internet being the internet. It's fine.
This is it's the 5G towers. They finally got together to get him. The sugar knight didn't work. There was a gap in the shield. It's gonna be that kind of stuff, dude. Like all the time, of course.
I still don't. I don't know if 5G is safe. Like, what if it attacks us?
True. Okay. Yeah. Be careful.
I always wonder every time I watch this show, what the fuck Destiny's doing, dude. He's always like doing some puzzles or some shit on your monitors, dude.
Doing some what?
Do some puzzles or something. I don't know.
Oh,
what he's
puzzles.
He's
what are you
going through
doing?
emails.
Yeah,
I
what are you
think.
doing?
Right now, I've got some Call of Duty Warzone going on.
Oh,
Shameless.
Oh, so you're no better than fucking Greek. Come
Shut
on.
the fuck up, Slasher. Don't even start, okay? All you've been doing on this podcast is attacking people out of nowhere, okay?
Okay.
Destiny, do you actually read your emails?
Sometimes, but I'm usually on top of my shit, so I haven't had much to do today.
On top of your shit, you read all of them?
Do I? The important ones, yeah. I have somebody that like sends me. Basically, I have a public email address, and then I've got somebody that forwards me the important emails that I need to respond to.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you even pay this guy?
Yeah, $400 a month, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Why? Do you want to do emails for me?
Nah, I just go through them. I just go through them myself on the public one, dude. It's fucking cancer.
It is cancer. I started to realize I was wasting way too much time every day. Like
Yeah, I realized that too. I didn't think people were such complete assholes. Like they literally like. Have you guys seen those emails that start with, "Hey, I know this says business inquiries, but this isn't a business inquiry. I'm just wondering if by chance," and it goes off into like a 16-paragraph essay of how like he really enjoyed my haircut and he's wondering in what time and what city I got it in. Like it's like, bro, listen, my goddamn Twitter DMs are open. Okay, you don't need to send me a fucking email. It just, I don't know. It's just hundreds of them.
If you try to, the thing I do, fucking like, because I do a lot of streams about educating smaller broadcasters and stuff like that. 300 emails a week. 300, and it's all the same. Hey Devin, do you have any tips? I'm a small streamer. I'm just starting on Twitch. I'd like to know how to grow my viewers. And I'm like, well, you could have gone to my YouTube where I have this video exactly how to grow your Twitch stream from 0 to 100 viewers. And they're like, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, great. Just hundreds
Mine
and
are
hundreds
just like
of emails.
marriage requests.
What?
Oh god.
What?
I'm like, god damn it. Like I'll open my email and it's just like, how much are you? And will you marry me?
Yeah, that's accurate.
How much
Well, I
are
get-
you?
I get
Wow,
those
that
too.
is.
I get those
did
too.
a cringe DM reading.
Holy
this
shit!
morning.
You could actually make like a game show out of this, where
Oh,
you
I
have
did,
like you could
I
get like
do.
you could show like here's 5 emails that this person got. What was the streamer that got them or whatever? Because my
Oh,
email is usually like, hey, like my mom is some crazy Trump supporter. How should I debate her out of this position? Unironically, people email me shit like this all the time. I don't know who your
Oh my
fucking mom is.
God.
So it sounds like we're all getting emails that are like in the like lane of shit that we did. That would be.
Oh no! You know what I get
God.
high-paying opportunity job, and then I click on it, and it's just kidding. A big nose within this fucking stream on stop being late 7-7 shit like that.
Sorry, I'll stop sending those.
That's actually funny, dude. I get those like I have this like group. I'm not gonna put too much attention to it, but I get emails that like say Twitter, like Apple payment for Twitter declined. You need to update your Apple payments, so please give us your password and username to your Apple and your Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck does Twitter and Apple have anything to do with in common? Like, it makes no fucking sense to me. And I know people are doing. They're trying to like fish for my fucking information. It's the most shameless shit ever, dude. Absolutely shameless. Yeah.
The other day, somebody sent me somebody got me on this like list, which subscribed me to like thousands of newsletters. It's like, welcome to the Iowa Democratic Party.
I don't want to talk about this. Let's not talk about this. Let's not talk about this. Yeah. People do this shit.
Someone's I was scared. I was scared that one day like my email like something would happen because someone signed me up to something called Cocky Boys. I don't listen. People are gonna meme that and say,
Someone.
"Oh, sure they did." Yeah, there you go, asshole.
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Okay, dude. I don't listen. This Cocky Boys, it's like a pure male-on-male site, dude, and I just see pictures of jacked, huge men. Like I clicked on it to examine what it was. I wasn't sure.
But the real question.
Subsections were offering totally unique content. It was crazy that I got linked this. Like, man, this page is even more insane. Like, you buy the 15 a month one, dude. You should see what the okay.
The real question is, did you unsubscribe?
No, I didn't. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's been there for about 2 years. Yeah.
I had this guy took my email to make a Domino's account, right? That he controlled for some reason. I don't know how to. And he would buy himself pizzas like weekly to his own house, right? And he would pay for them with his own card. And I would get like notifications, order confirmation number, whatever. And I could see his house, and he just kept buying them over and over, and that lasted for months. Holy shit.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've had accounts open in weird things that like are actually professional, like professional sites, and like they're assigned to my email. I've never even seen these sites or knew they existed. But apparently, people love using all of our emails that we have on our platforms for their own like sign-ins. So fucking weird. Like I wonder if we recovered password and like. Do you think we'd see all their fucking information and their like credit card information and like their details and addresses? Like, I'm confused to why they even do this.
Maybe, probably.
It makes
I mean,
no
that's
sense.
that's how people like hack people's accounts. Is they find out their emails and then they basically just try and like. That's one way they do it, right?
If you have
They
somebody's
find
email,
out a
you
bunch
gain
of
access
personal
to a lot
information
of
about you.
accounts.
Yeah, they find out personal information about you, and they think, okay, like, what could their password be? If I know their email is so and so, oh, I know their birth date, I know where they're from, I know this name, I know that name, what's something that relates to them, and they guess people's passwords like that.
Did you guys ever see this thing that was floating around Twitter a few months ago, and it had like 200,000 retweets? It was like, okay, guys, quarantine games. Your high school mascot and the last thing you ate are something. And it had like 250,000 retweets, and I was like, do you guys not fucking realize this is literally like your Instagram security question? Nobody knew. I'm like, this is such a basic internet security question. So basic. And celebrities were retweeting it. I was like, you guys are fucking kidding me.
That's so stupid. What is your mother's maiden name? What are the last 4 digits of your social? Let's see if anyone matches.
The last 4 digits of your social and the last thing you ate. Post it now.
That's actually so troll. Holy shit.
I'm wondering if they did it on purpose at this point.
Oh, they did. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think high school mascot is one that is like it's a very common like secret word question.
Is it?
Out of all my secret questions, I've never seen high school mascot ever.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I've never seen it in my life. I've never
It's
seen
like
it in
the
my life.
street,
shit.
the street you grew up on.
What kind of websites are you going to, Espen?
Yeah, seriously.
High
High school mascot. I've never seen that.
That was like that was one of the secret word for college thing, I think. For college.
Oh, well, none of us go to college here, so.
I went to college.
Oh, no, that's right. You have an
Turn your camera
analytic
on.
philosophy degree.
Well, it's not called analytic philosophy. It's just philosophy degree, but yeah.
So wait. So what kind of diploma does Disney have?
I don't know. It's school dropout. I don't have shit.
Oh man, me too. Feels bad, man.
I thought you had a music one.
No, I went to school for music, but I didn't finish. I was working too much.
Yeah.
I never went to college.
Wait.
Actually,
wait, Slasher, hold on. I have a question for Slasher. Slasher, what do you do now to sustain yourself?
But he's implying this is clearly not journalism. Holy shit.
I ask myself that question every day when I wake up.
my God.
How does Slasher make money?
Holy shit.
I do
guys.
actual consulting. I do all right.
No, I didn't say how much. I was wondering.
No,
like,
I do.
I see all your
actual
tweets and like
consulting,
you can't really
and-
monetize. You know what you should do to Slasher? Listen, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a secret. Okay, maybe this is public or not. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can monetize off Twitter. But you have to make videos. So you can do whatever you're doing, but do it with your voice instead on video, and you can definitely make a good living off of it because you have a good engagement.
Can't you get Twitter ads? Twitter ads would pay you money.
No,
Yeah,
that's the Twitter ads are pretty
they have
dog shit
nothing.
though. Like,
Wait.
okay, look.
You get Twitter ads?
Yeah, there's
Yes,
Twitter
you
ads.
can.
Yeah.
But listen, if you want to have, we're gonna have a CEO Andy talk here. Okay, what you really should do, Slasher, is have a Patreon. And
Yeah, I hate that whole concept though. It's why I've never done it. I
that's
hate
what you're gonna
people
make.
giving
Like you say, like
money.
do
I'd
some kind of
rather take
edgy
money
fucking.
from big corporate companies than take money from the user.
Why can't it be both?
I know that's how like the entire Twitch like platform has evolved, where give me $5 is how how everybody makes their living. I've never loved that approach. I know it's how the internet has evolved. I should just make people give me money because they want to or whatever.
Yeah, it's optional. I mean, like
I've
they
never
choose to
never
do it.
liked it. Never
I would subscribe to your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Destiny. He reviews and does a lot of political stuff, social. What do you call the other one? Social something. Social periscopal. Social.
Social periscoping.
Whatever the fuck. He pretty much
Social
anything
studies.
and everything. Hey, just go over there. You have questions. He'll educate you on a lot of different things, and he'll have conversations with you, and it's some good stuff. So please go check him out. Twitch.tv/Destiny.
And really hit because he's banned now from the live stream fail. I will give Destiny prompts for having maybe the best commentary over everything that's happened this past week. Really like diving into each of the individual cases, and I've even seen several women watch his analysis of what they wrote, and they were really comforted that somebody else out there could understand how they feel, and I think Destiny did a really good job of connecting the Twitch culture and the user base with you.
Second, I've been watching it. Super good content.
All right, guys. It was a great show. Thank you so much. I love you all. Is there anything else you guys want to say, or are we done?
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Good
And
stuff.
thank you everybody for coming out, and also for supporting a really important issue. Go forth into your communities and add a little bit of positivity. What you do matters.
Yep. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Imagine Pokey coming out defending Fed after everything on the Ratchler. Oh shit, that's right. Does this do with Pokey moving out? Wait, did Pokey move out? All right. We gotta go quick for Moody Cakes. Link the Hassan accusations. Let's go. Have you ever met Hassan? Yep. When I was with Bella, he gave me the evil eye. What's the punishment generally in the U.S. for false accusations? Some people say nothing global, but is it really? My guess would be for a false accusation. Well, if it's filed criminally, I think you would be perjured if you did that. People could probably take you to civil court, maybe for damages. But that's like the most I could imagine, right? Apple is?
Yeah, it's like tortious interference with your business, the defamation, slander, stuff like that.
Damages can be substantial, like say if you cost someone a job. I think there's a limit on how much you can sue for, or at least in small claims there is. I guess there's not a big way for it. Here we go. I've been seeing a lot of women coming out with their own stories. Sorry. Over the past few days, and it's given me the courage to speak out against my own abuser. Thank you for that. I hear you, I believe you, and I support you. As difficult as it's going to be, I want to keep this as short as I can, given the number of stories that have come out and how exhausted everyone must be. My abuser is a well-known Twitch staff member who happens to also handle partners' accounts, including those of women. His name is Hassan Bokhari, and goes by Hassan on Twitch. Hassan and I used to date for the majority of 2015. When we got more serious, I was hesitant to us being public because I was afraid of being judged for dating a staff member on top of other things. So we weren't romantic in public. It was an extremely toxic relationship from both sides, and I'd like to talk about the power abuse that I have witnessed. Some things I know in regards to Luminicity/BSK, as well as how he violated me personally. Tiny bit of background info on how we met. We met in a Destiny, the game, community Discord group. I joined a group call that he was in, noticed that I didn't recognize him, so I asked for his Twitch channel. Found the channel, the conversation literally lasted like 5 minutes. A week or so later, he tweeted at me to let him know that when I start my stream. So I did. And that's when we started to talk more. In regards to power abuse, he would often rant about partners and often share confidential information about them, including DMs between him and partners, emails between him and partners, whispers, etc. He'd share this with me in private, but also in group Discord calls where my community, him, and I would all hang out. In private, he'd share them mostly vocally, sometimes through screen share. I've seen things from partner dashboards/revenue dashboards, work emails, work group chat/emails, especially in regards to bans, personal partner contracts, including the ones of some of the biggest streamers. He'd screen share his work because he enjoyed it when I watched him work, and also to impress me. Rarely through text. In group calls, he'd mostly rant about partners, especially if they DM'd him complaining about something, but also share company secrets. We would often know what was coming next on Twitch before anyone else. We also know certain details about certain situations that most others would know, because he was able to share it. This would happen often, and I wouldn't be surprised if this behavior continued after we broke up. He abused his position a lot. I'm a prime example of that, unfortunately. So I'm going to use myself just to name a few. The same day that I linked him my stream, after talking a few words of casual conversation, he messages me midstream and asks me if I'd like to change my name from VO7_2 to Trust the Cake to better fit my branding. He asked for VO instead jokingly, which to my shock he agreed and changed it to VO. He later that night links me a form. The form was meant for partners as a Christmas gift to them. It included lots of special things, such as the purple Twitch hoodie. I was shocked, especially since I wasn't even a partner. I mentioned that, to which he replied, "Don't worry, I have a feeling you'll be a partner soon." Again, I replied in shock, and he let me know that he'll have a team look into my account. This is one of the reasons, in some ways, Twitch is like pretty segmented, but this is one of the things that I try to push back on Devin sometimes, when Devin is like, "Oh no, like bans are a totally separate group, like partner managers, blah blah blah, nothing to do with bans." People can definitely pull for you. These guys are all friends with each other. If there's something that somebody really wants done in some department and they've got the personal relationship to make it happen, it'll probably happen. They aren't these highly regimented, segmented divisions that sometimes people try to make them out to be. Like, they a little bit more connected than that. Destiny, this is playing into the narrative that women get favorable treatment. It's not just women. It's people that are really close to Twitch staff get favorable treatment. Abso-fucking-lutely. 100%, of course. And some Twitch staff like to hunt women. So those women will get some favorable treatment, of course. However, from my personal, incredibly limited knowledge, this is far more likely to be impacting very small women streamers, like 100 to 200 concurrent viewers or less. This isn't going to be impacting people like Alinity or Pokemon. What is Hassan's job title at Twitch? I believe Hassan was either an account manager or the head of account management. One of those two. But at the very least, he was a partner manager, where he was one of like the 3 or 4 big partner managers where he was managing like premium partners. His Twitter says, account director, strategic partnerships. Okay. Who manages my account? I know his name on Twitter, but I don't, or Discord, but I don't know his real. The next thing I know, I get a text message, and it's from him. He used the form to get my number, and I even called him out on it, which he casually played off. Ooh, hold on. The next day we were talking more, some through text, some through Discord. It was still lots of casual conversation that you have when you're just getting to know someone as a person. Later on, he suggested to wine and dine me, to which I wasn't keen on. I told him it wasn't possible since he was all the way on the West Coast and I was on the East Coast. He then suggested flying to Maryland, where I lived at the time, saying that it's only $100. Oh, yeah, she was on the East Coast. Okay. I didn't reply since I didn't really know what to say. He continued by offering me a PAX East pass, where we could get that legit wine and dine. I responded by saying that I don't really just agree to things like that, especially since I've only known him for a day. He played it off by saying that he was totally just messing with me. He said I could still have the pass and that this kid knows how to talk to people and how to get things done. This is when we started to talk more, when I started to trust him more and confide in him more, and when he started to slowly put pressure on me to date him day by day. I also remember that during this time, he started to call me babe, which I let him know I wasn't comfortable with. His response was that he called most of his female friends babe. That's probably true. I eventually got used to it. A few weeks later, the topic of partnership came up after telling him that I felt bad for opening up to him about my struggles with streaming. He mentioned that a mutual friend of ours reached out to him in regards to my partnership, which he shared with me. After a bit of back and forth, he offered me partnership, but also mentioned that if I take it, we won't be able to talk the way we have been anymore. At this point, I've been talking to him every day through text, voice, and Discord. I don't want to lose this friendship. I declined and was devastated that I had to make that decision. Partnership was my dream at the time and everything I've been working towards. He then noticed that I was devastated and picked the topic back up. I let him know that I won't be applying anyway. I was also being view-botted at this time and knew that applying was pretty much pointless anyway, to which he wasn't okay with. He then sent me the form to officially become a partner and called me to tell me to fill it out and reassuring me that it's okay, that I deserve it. So I did. I regret that now. Yikes. Luminosity/BSK. I noticed that Hassan denied any involvement with the Discord/Discords that have been mentioned. And also, wait, is this is this them typing now, or is it the same person typing on behalf of them, or? I'm back to you. Shut up, Miss Mint. We're almost done. I noticed that Hassan denied any involvement with the Discord/Discords that have been mentioned, and also mentioned that he distanced himself with the members involved once he found out. This is extremely hard to believe for numerous reasons. I happened to be in a call with Hassan when we found out that Luminosity was soliciting women for nudes. This happened before people knew about the Discord, Circle of Trust, and or Shmuda Gang, I don't know. Possibly before it even existed. Lumi happened to be streaming when the information came out. Someone had shown a screenshot of Lumi soliciting for nudes, which Hassan then also shared the screenshot with me. So Hassan went into his stream to let him know through chat that he wanted to talk. He ended up slapping him on the wrist for it, and that's about it. I don't know anything about this thing that went on. I also know that after our breakup, Hassan, Lumi, and Trav were extremely close, and knowing Hassan's nature, I highly doubt they wouldn't discuss anything in regards to their secrets. The next thing I'm going to speak on, however, is what makes me doubt this the most. He shared my nudes with my best friends. I was in denial with this one, and didn't believe my friends for the longest time because of how high I held him in my thoughts. However, after some proof, I eventually believed it, and I was furious. What makes me angrier than anything is the fact that he went out of his way to violate my trust. I remember having a conversation with him shortly before on how terrified I was that my nudes could get out, that I've never really done this before, and that I've heard horror stories. He reassures me many times that he wouldn't save or share them. I even sent them through Snapchat for extra security in case he screenshotted it, since Snapchat alerts you if you take a screenshot of a picture. He somehow managed to go out of his way to secretly take a screenshot, and the first thing he did was message my best friends, get in a call with them, and excitedly announce that he finally saw my titties. Then shared them. I felt humiliated, and I still do. I feel stupid for thinking that he wasn't capable of doing something so horrible. Last year, I finally had the guts to confront him on sharing my nudes after he reached out to me about owing him money from when he helped me out with college, which he insisted on and pressured me to accept his help on, paying up out of good faith. I let him know that I knew about him sharing my nudes, however I didn't tell him how I knew. He immediately denied it and asked for proof. I responded by saying that I didn't need to show him proof and that it's disgusting that he's even asking for it. I later found out immediately after the confrontation he called one of my best friends he shared my nudes with, asking him if he knew what I was saying was true, which my friend confirmed. I was told that Hassan said that if it were true, that he would take responsibility and apologize/make it right. What? I'm still waiting. This is where we get to the heavy stuff. I never thought I'd ever write this out, and it's still going to be hard as well as embarrassing. I'm going to try my best. Holy shit. I thought that was the heavy stuff. Okay, so Hassan is getting fired from Twitch, 100%. He's one of the big account managers, though. I super wonder who's going to, they're going to have to get somebody else big to step it. Somebody's getting a promotion, I guess. Trigger warning, sexual assault. You should apply it. Hassan was the most problematic when we were together in person. Oh, by the way, have you ever heard me saying over the past year, I don't think people that work at Twitch should be friends with or have romantic relationships with streamers? One of the reasons why. Hassan was the most problematic when we were together in person. He was already extremely persistent online, especially in regards to pursuing a relationship with me. However, I didn't realize that this would carry over in person as well as to the degree it did. The feelings of pressure and being trapped was at its worst whenever I was with Hassan, and especially when I was alone with him. He would try everything in his power to get me alone with him, whether I was in a room or empty hall, and when he did, he would try to get physical. I would immediately shy away and tell him no, which he would never respect. Every 5 to 10 minutes, I would have to tell him no again. However, he kept trying as if it were a challenge. The first time I met him was a few weeks before PAX East 2015. He wanted to visit me to get to know me better, and so that I'd be less nervous meeting him at PAX. Jesus. After some hesitation and some convincing, I eventually agreed to him visiting. I immediately noticed that he was a little too comfortable with me, especially when we were alone. I'd make sure to keep my distance as much as I could without it seeming weird, and I'd have to tell him to stop touching me anytime we were alone, whether it was stroking my leg, my arm, or just being uncomfortably close to me in general. The way he would pressure me and persist, the more I'd give in. Every time we were alone, he got a step further. By the last day of his visit, he managed to pressure me into kissing him when we were alone for the last time. A few weeks later at PAX East, the same thing would happen. I'd have to constantly tell him no. He'd constantly try again. I'd give in more each time. One night, I was just about to wind down for the night and go to bed, and he messaged me to meet up. It was extremely late. I can't remember how late. I remember being drunk, and I remember agreeing because I didn't want the night to be over yet since I was having a great time. I told him we could go to the rooftop at the hotel and chill. Eventually, we ended up alone in a hotel hallway. Again, he started to get more physical with me, and again, I told him no. He'd get sad and eventually asked me to sit on his lap. I felt bad, so I did, and that's where he started to get touchy again, whispering into my ear and eventually putting his hands down my pants. On the inside, I was panicking, and I didn't know what to do. After a few seconds, I rejected him again and said no and got off. Then we made our way down to the staircase where we sat again, and that's where the pressuring started again. I'd say no, he'd try again, eventually I'd give in. He once again put his hands down my pants, and this time he went even further as to actually touch me. Again, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to be upset or feel rejected. I felt bad enough already. I just let him touch me for a couple seconds before I took his hand away again. The pattern of pressure and persistency is basically how all of our in-person interactions went. Wait, what? This is related to the other method stuff. I was not the one who received the email. It was forwarded to me after at least 2 people, if not more, within the org had seen it. As PR at the time, it was my job to word the reply using the agreed upon messaging. What? You're complicit. Just say complicit. It's okay. Well, I mean, it's not really okay, but... Part of me still feels like, sorry. I said no more times than I can count, but each time Hassan took no as convinced me. The only time he actually stopped trying to seduce me was when he was pressuring me again and ended up having a full-blown panic attack once because of it. Part of me still feels like I deserved it. I've made mistakes of my own that I haven't forgiven myself for yet. The most fucked up part is that I convinced myself that I actually did want it in the end. Since I gave in eventually, to me it meant that I must have wanted it. I'd even text him about how much I'd enjoy it, that I looked forward to kissing him or being held by him, etc. However, in person, I always naturally kept my distance and could never figure out why. I felt no physical attraction towards him. For some reason, that didn't feel like a problem to me. Now I realize it's because I never wanted it to begin with. I was preyed on, manipulated, gaslighted, violated, sexually assaulted. With everything that's happened and all these incredible women coming out, knowing that someone like Hassan is in the position he is, I couldn't stay silent anymore. I understand that he's done a lot for partners and Twitch, and that he's especially done a lot for me. But I didn't deserve this treatment. You guys can encourage you to speak out, and most of all, thanks for reading/listening. Damn. You missed a part starting from each time. Each time he'd push my boundaries, seeing if he could get away with it. Each time I'd eventually give in a little more each time. I'm remembering you telling me about this shit. When I was an affiliate, he hit on me and asked me to go to Vegas with him after looking at my chat for like a week. It really threw me off, and I was scared to directly turn him down because I legit thought I wouldn't get partnered. I remember seeing a picture. I hope that Bella doesn't mind me saying this, but I remember seeing a picture that he sent Bella of like it was a bed, and then there was like a view in the background or whatever of a hotel room with him asking her to join him. Yikes! I wonder how many other people. I wonder how many other like affiliate people he reached out to. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this part too. I'm sorry. Eventually, he managed to pressure me into oral sex by PAX West 2015. He managed to pressure me into sex. Sorry. I have a lot of proof of the power abuse. Extremely hard to come out against something like this, and I'm just taking it slowly. If it becomes necessary, provide as much proof as I can. Bold proof to answer his excuses. That way he won't be able to lie his way out of the situation. Yep, correct. So we have no defense from Hassan so far. So in my opinion, I mean, this is he's getting the red. When you are a partner manager and you're literally like reaching out to little affiliate girls, trying to like pressure them into shit and they don't know. The thing that sucked at the time, I don't want to bring up Bella too much because I don't know how much she wants to be involved in this, but like, imagine being like an affiliate and a partner manager reaches out to you and starts hitting on you. Like, fuck, am I not going to get partnered if I don't respond to this guy? Like, that's like ultra super unbelievably fucked up. That's so fucked up. Like, that's like so unbelievably fucked up that you would like literally play into the meme of yourself. It's funny because he actually got so irritated that LSF people memed on him so hard. And the reality is that LSF people just thought that he was like a fucking horny boy, not that he was a sexual predator, right? That's like the saddest part of all of this, is that he got mad when people, he should have actually just played into the meme, because the meme was actually way better than the reality of the situation, which is that he's using his position at Twitch to fuck girls, basically. That's super, super, super fucked up. Here's my own example of this. He only knew me for 1 day and was this comfortable with throwing his influence around. So the same day I received a name change. I was partnered 2 weeks later on Christmas despite not meeting requirements and not applying. Yep. Again, this is why, like, I try not to push into Devin too hard because he thinks whatever he wants to think. But this is why I say sometimes at Twitch, it's not always like a highly ultra regimented. In some ways it is, but like if you have somebody that's willing to go to bat for you, shit will get done, okay? If you are ultra fucking tight with partnerships, you will see results from moderation. You will, 100%. Because these guys are all fucking friends with each other. Of course they are. And if you got a guy that's willing, at Twitch, to go to bat for you, he'll walk to the other fucking department, and he'll argue with him, and he'll get shit done. It will happen. It will happen. Anil is his best friend, is his head of partnership. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing about Anil, and I feel a little bit bad. I feel a little bit bad for this. I have to weigh, like, my priorities at the time. And so I feel a little bit bad saying this, okay? So I received a 30-day ban because I fucking raged homophobed in League, okay? I think, or it was a 30-day ban, I don't remember, it was some stupid shit. I got really scared, and I wanted to go fly to San Francisco to talk to my account manager, to Kevin, and Anil was at that dinner too. And I wanted to chat with him, and we talked about Twitch stuff and blah, 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 blah. I was part of the first group of people to get hit by that ban where they started to enforce hate speech, and I was like, holy shit, like, I want to make sure I'm not going to get banned. So we had a conversation, blah, blah, blah. During the conversation, I pointed out a lot of my issues with Twitch and a lot of things that I'd heard behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. After that dinner, okay, now, I'm not going to sit here and defend or attack anybody because I don't sincerely know what has happened behind the scenes or who's involved in what, okay? But after that dinner, I'd mentioned that I'd heard fucky shit going on behind the scenes with different Twitch account managers, but I didn't give names. I do remember that Anil pulled me over after the dinner outside, and he specifically asked me, like, hey, dude, if you've heard anything about this shit going on, like, I'd really like to know. Like, you can tell me, like, it's cool. Like, I'll keep it secret, blah, 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 blah. Like, he did, like, sincerely reach out to me and make that offer. Now, I didn't feel comfortable sharing at the time what I'd heard because I'm putting other people in the line of fire to do that. Now, Anil did make like a good faith effort to come out and at least ask me what was going on. Now, was he covering for Hassan or was he legitimately trying to figure out what was going on? I can't know that, but I do know that he did reach out to me to try to like sincerely ask if something was going on. Is Anil still your account manager? No, that guy was never my account manager. Do you actually think anything of consequence will happen? Hassan will get fired 100%. Hassan is gone. There's no way that he stays. There's zero. Where's Dan at? That's a bet that I'll give odds on. I'll give 5-1 on that. Hassan is getting fired 100%. No fucking way does he stay through that.
You know what? I'll take it. You really want to do it? What are the real odds you'll do though? Make it. Tasty.
I'll make it 5-1 on $100.
That's it. You seem pretty confident. 5-1's not that confident.
Well, Twitch is really fucky.
7-1.
Fine, 7-1 on $100. Yeah, I'll do
$100. You got it. Okay. Easiest money of my life. Okay.
Wait. This includes if he like.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let's lawyer this up a little bit real quick.
Did someone say lawyer?
Okay. So my money is that he will still be employed by Twitch at the end. Maybe not.
Okay. Well, no, because they might like move him out of partnerships to some other bullshit position.
Yeah, that's not being fired though. Damn.
I mean, like. Fired. He's like one. There's a ton of bullshit partner managers at Twitch, and then there are like the few big ones, and he's one of the few big ones. So like him getting moved to some other internal department would be.
Okay, so again, what I'm saying is that he will still be at Twitch. Do you not want to take that bet?
No, because I could see Twitch doing some. I could see Twitch
reassign him to some back office.
Yeah, I could see them reassigning him, saying we're doing an internal investigation, and then it never gets brought up again, and he just stays forever at Twitch. But I feel like in this era with everything going on, didn't they permaban Blessed RNG? That guy has a global emote, but he doesn't work for Twitch.
You want to redo the odds on the new terms?
All 3-1 again.
That's a little frisky for 3-1. 4-1, I think, is the lowest I'll go.
4-1 then.
With those terms. All right, fine.
There
so,
we go.
how do we deal with caveats if like there's no information? Does it become a wash at that point?
Well, if there's no information, then you win, right?
Oh, okay. I like that.
Well, they're not going to quietly fire him, right?
Well, I mean, they might, but I'll take that. All right, you heard it here, chat. No information is a win to me. The house takes the.
If he resigns, nobody. It's a wash.
No. If he resigns, he got fired. There's no way. Like, it's possible that he might do that because Twitch might talk to him and he might in the next 2 days he'll be like, hey guys, I know there's been a lot of stuff said about me. I think it's better for everybody involved that if I step away from my position at Twitch right now, hopefully I can be involved in the community, like some bullshit like that.
What about if he's just taking a step back temporarily to reassess but not giving up the position? That goes to me, right? Temporary leave of absence.
If he comes back, yeah, it would go to you. Yeah.
Okay.
The long bet.
He's gonna pull the Shiva meme. He's gonna take a leave of absence.
I still remember the Hawaii bet. That was the best part. The Hawaii plate bet.
Oh yeah, I fucking destroyed on that one. He was
Dude,
so
those
fucking.
plates were so hot.
He was so confident too.
Pretty
Oh
sure
my
you
god.
get 3rd-degree burns.
That wasn't that like $1,000 I was supposed to get from that? Oh my god, I never collected on that either. I'm so bad at this.
Oh, but you lost the
How did that
Hawaii,
happen?
car bet.
Oh my
Remember that?
god. How did that happen? That was
I think
so
those were a wash,
dumb.
if I recall.
Fuck.
This fucking thread. Hold on. I don't know. Based on the screenshots, it looks like you really wanted to hook up. Could have just stopped talking at any point. No, wait, hold on. Oh, we didn't look at these. He only knew me for 1 day and was this comfortable throwing his influence around. This is the same day I received a name change. I was partnered 2 weeks later on Christmas. He only knew me for 1 day. So this is after knowing her for 1 day. Here we go. Yep, the problem with literally being super passionate about anything I care for. Let me know. Thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it. No problem. Just keep my words. Smiley face. You're too good to me. Okay. Oh, I think this is supposed to be LOL. If only you were on the West Coast, then you'd get wined and dined too. Woof! We're laying it on thick right off the bat. Okay, how does she respond? I'm all the way on the East Coast. I don't think wine and dine is possible. XD. Okay, that's like a neutral. She could be into it, maybe not. That's what you think. I'm originally from New York City. I'm coming back for winter break anyway, haha. I'm not in New York City, XD. I would have met you at PAX East, so I was able to afford the tickets for it at the time. Now they are sold out. Okay, these are like the little symbols. These are the, or it's not symbols. These are the little signals. Signals. Jesus. I need to get my laundry. I just remember that. I'm doing it after this, and then I'm ready mood. Okay, these are the little signals that you need to be looking for to find out if somebody, oh, that thing is a crying face? Oh, okay, I don't know. And they really wanted to hook up, then their question would be like, oh, like, where are you going? Or like, maybe we can meet up. Or like, hey, like, I'm over here, that's how many miles away? Not this like, well, I'm not there. Not in New York City, right? This like makes it seem like we're not that interested. I would have met you at PAX East, but I was able to afford the tickets for it at the time. That's kind of like iffy though, maybe. I don't know, where are we going? Let's see. New York City to Maryland is a $100 flight raffle, and I can get you a PAX East pass. So, okay, this is really, 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 really not good, okay? If you are propositioning a girl, making offers alongside that is very fucking weird. Like, maybe if it's like, I can cover, like, the cost of dinner or your ticket or something, maybe, but, like, this idea of like, hey, listen, like we should hook up, blah, 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 like I can get you a free pass into whatever, you know, too. You know, like, this starts to get like a little bit strange. So you're good. Then you'll get my legit wine and dinner Reno. I'll have my phone. Won't be on Discord. Going to the party now. Talk to you later. Wait, what? You can get a pass just like that. Also, I don't just agree to things like that. I've known you for a day, mofo XD. Okay, so she's still like pretty hesitant. Like, I'm totally messing with you. You're awesome, and yes, I have only known you for one day. I was not messing around about the past. That's completely. He wasn't messing with her. Why would he say that? Cringe. When you're literally. Oh my god, this is like the JK LOL. Unless. ... Like he's literally citing prices and like making offers to like bribe her for the sex. What the fuck? I was not messing around with about the past. I was completely open to you. This kid knows how to talk to people and get things done. Oh my god, well, you're awesome as well. If it's no trouble, that would be really fucking amazing. Why you do so much for me? So he's kind of like holding it over her head, right? He's got like this thing that she really wants. It sounds like she doesn't have much money. Like, I don't know, but based on the screenshots, it looked like you really wanted the hookups. Could have just stopped talking to him at any point, no? Well, I mean, who wouldn't want like a pass to PAX East or whatever? Right? Or PAX West or whatever the fuck it was. I agree. I don't get what she's saying. She basically said in her assault story that she told him she wanted him in text, but then said no in real life. I'm sorry. This isn't like saying she wanted him in text. Do you think she didn't recognize what he was doing? Well, I imagine you probably don't. This is part of the problem of talking with people that have power over you, right? I don't know what the fuck she's thinking. Like, if she knows this guy's like a literal he's wearing a fucking Twitch hoodie in the fucking picture, right? If this guy is one of the people that's literally determining whether you get partnered or not, I don't know how the fuck I would interact in a conversation with this guy. I imagine it would be like really fucking awkward. Like, I don't want to just tell this guy to fuck off, right? Like, this is probably a pretty important person. It's probably pretty important to have like some kind of like relationship with him. Like, the girl, Vio here, is not really giving, like, super positive responses. I agree, I don't get what she's saying. She basically said herself, yeah, I don't get it. Why would you see someone you apparently don't feel comfortable with over and over unless you want something out of them, let alone allow yourself to be left alone in a hotel room with them? And why the fuck would you tell them you enjoyed it and looking forward to it? I think that these kinds of messages are really important because I think it's really good to see that a lot of the times as men, we kind of hold women up as, like, perfect, and that, like, men are the ones fucking up all the time. A lot of women are socially fucking stupid, too, right? This is a good example of it, is somebody that's just socially clueless. When you're trying to make it in an industry and the one person that could literally make or break it for you, you don't just say no. It's subtle, but this kind of power dynamics happens everywhere. Is this another girl? I can't. I don't want to click the thing because I don't, or whatever. Nah, her walking away doesn't break it. It would have shown that she's not a suck-up just to get what she wanted. She used him for his connections. He used her for sexual clout. He literally sent her nudes to others to show that he can get her. What the fuck? What? In hindsight, it's never a wise thing to do. I agree. True, you're not wrong. Super aggressive to flaunt his job, just have sex with her. Like, how insecure is this? Yeah. He's a douchebag. The thing is, what he was doing was working, so he kept at it. On his end of things, he saw no signs of no. So if he is seeing results that he's after, he's going to keep at it. I mean, you can go to fucking date rape a whole bunch of girls and get results. I mean, that's not a good reason to do it. That's not a justification. Like, Dom wanted me to share this exchange as an example of his power abuse. That's how he hit it. Wait, who is Dom? Does she mean I will dominate? Hey, Dommy. Oh no, another girl maybe? Down to send you some Twitch swag you can rep. Just send me over the following: full name, address, t-shirt, size, hoodie, size. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I got you. I'll let you know when I send something out. Hey, Dommy, just ship your stuff today. Should be able to track it starting a third. It should be, hopefully I can, full stage check. It's okay. Just saw this. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed. Did you enjoy your trip to Texas? Yeah, trip to Texas was great. When am I going to see you at an event? Make an excuse to come and visit. Why? Why would you think this is appropriate? Oh my god. Haha, Ben. I've had a few people in San Francisco tell me that. Haven't been. You're going to Prime this year. I was going to Prime, only a 2-hour drive from Vancouver for me. Yes, when I'm talking about Prime. Whoop whoop. Much fun to be had. Just picked up from the post office this morning. Thank you so much. I love it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about lady. Enjoy it. All worth it for the smile. Oh, and this was another affiliate. Do you remember what I said? So I won't say any direct accusations. But it's funny as this stuff starts to come out. I wonder if anything else would come out. Do you remember when I said a long time ago? It happened very specifically when we played, Jesus Christ. It happened very specifically when we were playing The Witcher 3. Every time I would finish a stream, I wanted to host a streamer at the end. I wanted to host a small streamer, okay? And it was either... So in order to make it fair, I wanted to do boy, girl, 100 viewers or less, playing The Witcher 3. That's what I would do. And every single time, I think it was legitimately every single stream, okay? When I ended, and I wanted to host a girl, small girl streamer, less than 100 viewers. Wait, did I say less than 100 years or less? Wait, did I say less than 100 years? Viewers. Viewers and years sounds... Viewers? Years? Sounds kind of similar. I'm sorry.
Get to it, dummy.
Shut up. Every single time I went to host a girl streamer with less than 100 viewers, every single time, there was always a Twitch staff in their chat. And I thought it was so fucking weird that every time I went to host a small streamer, like the guy is less than 100 viewers, whatever. Every time I went to host a girl streamer with less than 100 viewers, there was always a Twitch staff in their channel. Like, it was so fucking weird. It almost felt like grad students walking around trying to like fucking hit on undergrads, or like there was always like a staff to like claim a stream. I don't know what actually was like happening or not, or what the fuck was going on, but like, holy shit, I remember thinking that was so fucking weird at the time. Jesus Christ. Grad students literally hate nothing more than undergrads? Really? Yeah, I felt like the male grad students were super flirty with all the female undergrads, and I thought all the undergrads. That wasn't just in my music department. Maybe something different. God, I hated grad students. I'm sorry. Hold on. To be fair, I flunked out of my bachelor degree. Okay, so maybe even whatever. Okay. I hated grad students. They're cringy. They're too close to the teachers. They act like they're trying to have fun all the time, and then they go back and forth. They're fucking weird with fucking students. They try to act like one of you, but they try to lord over their fucking undergrad. They over-importance themselves all the time. They think that they're like the cool... I hate fucking grad students, okay? Fuck them, all right? Fuck grad students. You guys should be locked in another building, and you should never, ever, ever associate... Do you mean grad students or upper grads? Wait, what the fuck is an upper grad?
Grad students.
What is an upper grad?
Probably like an upperclassman is what he means, like a senior.
No, what? Seniors are
in his
fine.
Class. Yeah, he's dumb.
Your experience is completely different from every grad student I've ever known in my life. Maybe this is a math thing. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe my experiences are off. I just like.
No, this is finally a good take from you.
Oh, okay.
True.
I just hated grad students. They were just the fucking worst people in the world. Ugh.
one of the grad students failed me over one question on any fucking thing that I ever had in the course. I could have passed, but he fucked me. It's my bad. Sorry.
Imagine Pokey coming out defending Fed after everything on the Ratchler. Oh shit, that's right. Does that do with Pokey moving out? Wait, did Pokey move out?
Okay, so that's all the videos I wanted to review for today. And I mainly was just grinding the Dahlia Stormbow for next time, where I'll be trying to use it to fight the Destroyer and actually win this time. So, yeah, so next stream I'll probably do like a little, build a little arena area, and then get to fighting. I think that it's pretty gross what that Twitch partner manager guy did. I think that Twitch has a very toxic culture in general, and I hope that YouTube can grow as a streaming platform in comparison. So anyway, you stopped by. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully, and I'll review this video to see if the microphone quality is any better, but I'll probably still be making, up and down adjustments over the next few streams to kind of get everything, all lined up and all that. So yeah. Now, see you guys next time. I do work during the week, so if I do stream during the week, it'll be slightly shorter streams like these. And try to be a little more regular about it, but and do things for my channel, like make some images and stuff, but it's just gonna take some time. So all right, we'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, and if you enjoyed the stream, if you stop by later and enjoyed the stream, feel free to hit that subscriber button. That'd be really nice of you. Thank you. Bye bye.